I'm happy for you in your position, but Mark Zuckerberg, whole different story.
Yeah. What if I actually worked on X? What would you say?
I would say get the hell out.
Really? But it's a good opportunity. It gives you a lot of money.
Yeah, but considering who the boss is, it would be quite a night.
His dad! Her dad is back! Her dad is back!
It's Grandpa Nick!
It's Nick! It's her dad! And I think, what was it? I think Cricket and Tilly had never met him before.
Wow, who'd have thought that you would be framed by your grandpa for eating cake?
This one came out.
Yes! The reunion at the boat show!
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did tear up when it came to this. I'm like, oh my god,
and the tears flowing.
Mom and dad are back, and I'm like,
it's
so
like,
sad.
look at that.
Dude, and then like the whole Tears of Pokemon ended up like, what was it? The Recovering Ash, which was really amazing.
That part made no sense. How did Tears...
Shut the hell up. It's magic. It's Pokemon magic or some stuff like that. Shut up. Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of the Anination Podcast. My name is Nate, and again, Omid on my right side here.
Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Anination Podcast, and let me tell you, we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about with you, mainly focusing on Disney shows and anime shows.
Pretty much that. But yeah, I mean, another pretty crazy week, I would say. But first off, I gotta say something new. I started my brand new job on Monday of this week, and it was actually pretty exciting. Finally working over at how we say.
Yeah,
I'm working. I'm going to take over your Facebook.
So pretty much he's focusing on one of the biggest, if not the biggest, social media platforms on the planet.
Yeah, so I'm actually working over at Meta, actually. So this is going to be an exciting journey. But the thing is, like, I'm not working on Facebook. I'm working on mostly the peripherals of Meta. So what Meta is working on right now is just mostly on the VR stuff and the sunglasses. So you may have seen the Ray-Ban sunglasses with the cameras on them. And then you also seen the VR stuff, the Oculus Quest and stuff like that. So we're working. There's brand new products down the line, by the way. That's all I can say about it. But it's going to be an exciting adventure. It's my first week here. To be fair, it's kind of like slow just because it's like, the manager's not there. So my manager's not even there at work right now. And I'm just chilling, just like, okay, cool. But the lab manager is just like doing other tasks for the other folks that are working already as technicians in the lab. But then for me, it's like, how are they going to approach me? Because I'm brand new to this stuff. I don't know what to do with the equipment and things like that. So at least I'm getting a rundown. At least I'm ghosting a couple people where I can get to see like how they work with it. But my first couple of days have been like, okay, I'm just going to be watching for most of the time.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited for you, man. I'm excited for this new opportunity you're having, and I wish you the best of luck with that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. Are we already like cheering?
Cheers.
Are you already cheering for this? Okay.
That's something to celebrate. So I just want to say cheers to Nate and cheers to his brand new job. And wishing the best of luck with that.
Meta's first week is gonna be fine. Can't wait to look at y'all Facebooks. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, what? Did you have something little secrety in there?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Maybe I have to talk to Mr. Zuckerberg about that.
Maybe not. Oh god. Don't get me started on that guy. Like,
wait, what?
Don't get me started on Mark Zuckerberg.
We're gonna go down a rabbit hole because of what we're gonna talk about, I guess, when it comes to Facebook and all.
Like, I'm happy for you in your position, but Mark Zuckerberg, whole different story.
Yeah. What if I actually worked on X? What would you say?
I would say get the hell out.
Really? But it's a good opportunity. It gives you a lot of money.
Yeah, but considering who the boss is, it would be quite a nightmare.
Okay, if it's not Tesla. Tesla works people like I wouldn't say the S word, but yeah.
Tesla is under the same boss, so considering that certain person.
I don't know if that works.
Tesla and X, neither of them have it easy.
I don't know if that works on Twitter, but I hope that's not the case. But either way, I mean, it's a fun environment right now in Meta. Plus, the thing is, like, the big perks I get from Meta: free meals, free drinks, free meals, free drinks. Dude, we get free soda and free water and like all that jazz, man. It's tech. That's how tech companies are, man.
Never let go of that job, man.
I really hope not.
You got free meals? Are you kidding?
Yeah, I really hope not. I mean, that'd be awesome if they kept me. But like I said, it's gonna be a long journey. They said it's a lot of projects, so I'm assuming that they're gonna keep me on these projects, and we'll see how the longevity is for them. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Best of luck, dude.
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting, guys. Yeah. So besides that big news, I finally me working in Meta. How about you? How was your week been?
My week has been pretty cool. Pretty good actually, and it's especially good given that I'm currently binging on a certain popular anime that's been going on for years, maybe for decades.
Wait,
y'all know what I'm talking about. One Piece.
So after watching the live action series, you're finally watching One Piece, the anime.
Yes.
So do you see the difference between the live action and anime now?
Oh, the difference is night and day. I love the live action series, of course. I mean, that's what got me to the anime in the first place. But the anime series, like, oh my god, like the amount of world building, the amount of character development, like the amount of detail and attention given to these specific arcs, these specific characters, like it does everything that the live action does and so much more.
There's a lot more stuff that comes in.
It's
the
a
anime.
lot more stuff.
Yeah, because
Yes.
like there's some filler episodes that comes here and there, but the thing is like the live action only takes away like the best parts of the anime into the live action series, and that ended up becoming like one of the best live action remakes of an anime. So
Yeah, and like I'm probably one of the few that I'm probably in the minority that watched live action before the anime, but needless to say that that's how good the live action series is. It leaves you wanting more of that world, and so I got so much more of that world. I'm gonna get a whole lot more as I continue watching this anime. It's gonna be a long series, but it's gonna be quite a long voyage, and I'm all up for it.
So did you actually watch all the episodes that came from the live action series?
I haven't gone to.
So Arlong Park is
I haven't
the last
gone-
arc.
I haven't gone to Arlong Park yet.
Okay, so where you said you were at Usopp's village, right? Syrup Village?
Like that was so
you-
so this weekend I finished Romance Dawn and Syrup Village.
Okay, so Usopp's Park, you're at Barati now?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
so
gonna
I'm a Barati.
So you're gonna see
I'm
Sanji.
currently in the middle of Barati.
So you're gonna see Sanji then?
Yes.
Okay. So he's on his way. He's about to be like catching up with the live action now.
Oh yeah. Like I can't wait to get to Arlong Park because Nami is by far my favorite.
Still, because like
I
that's the only
sip
girl.
for Nami.
That's the only girl there right
I
now.
sip for
She's
Nami.
the only girl at the moment.
So far.
Yeah.
So far.
So far,
Like-
there's still more other characters that you're gonna see, but then it's gonna be another long journey for you.
Whether or not Nico Robin will surpass her, we'll see. We'll
You have
find
to see
out.
Chopper first before you see Nico Robin. Then you also get to see like some other girls that are out there. Vivi is another girl that you're gonna see soon, and
Yeah, so-
Boa Hancock too. So you gotta watch out
So-
for them.
I wish I could say Nami best girl, but I'm not there yet. Like I'm not there yet, so I'm just like, who knows?
Okay.
Vivi
So-
might be my favorite.
So here's the thing, like I know you go to conventions here and there. Don't you see already like the older versions of these characters?
yeah, like I've seen them like here and there, but I've also seen characters like cosplayers from other animes like Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia.
No, but like you know, when you go to like the dealer's hall, for example, they have posters of like the characters that are like in their wanted posters, and they're older versions too. So later on, you get to see Nami. You get to see Nami as like a petite young woman, but then she gets hotter, So
I'm gonna love her more and more, aren't I?
literally, she's wearing a swimsuit.
Like already she's a beauty from the beginning.
literally
She's
wearing-
already a beauty
She's
from the
literally
beginning.
wearing like a swimsuit, like as her normal uniform, like in the show.
I've seen
currently.
pictures.
Currently,
I've
yeah,
seen
I'm
pictures.
telling you, like you know that she's.
I already know.
Yeah, see, like telling you, like he likes Nami already, and he really sees like the future because every convention right now has like posters of Nami and Nico Robin and like all the other characters that are like in their future state.
Of course, I also love characters like I love Luffy. He's such a lovable and energetic protagonist. Zoro is a badass swordsman, like one of the best swordsmen I've seen. Period. Like, oh my god, like the way he wields two swords with his own two hands, and he puts the third blade in his mouth.
Yep.
Yes,
But that's
yes.
it. But then you've seen the live action star even did it himself.
Yeah, like I said before, the live action captures that side of the character so well. Like the live action series did an amazing job capturing the anime so well, even though like the live action series does a more bare bone in comparison to the anime. But then again, the live action show has 8 episodes, so it's kind of to be expected. And of course, Buggy the Clown. I never forget Buggy the Clown.
Yeah, and Buggy the Clown, he's still the crazy person he is. Like, been the chop fruit and everything. So
Yeah, like I said, he is as if Joker were a pirate.
Yeah.
He's
So-
Captain Pirate Joker.
So like the whole scenes are correct. It's just that it's not on top of it's not on a big top tent. It's like all in a village where all the fighting begins. You do get to see like him in a short stance, and then you get to see Luffy hit him out of town.
Well, here's the thing. Like the live action show, like there are things the live action show does that are different from the anime. Like for example, in the live action show, you also see Nami and Kaya bonding.
Well, you do see it. Yeah, you see it in live action. But
yeah, you see it in live action, and I wish they would showed it in the anime show because they would have been besties.
yeah, that would have been great. But I don't know. It's Oda's anime, and I think Oda wanted to like make the live action have like all the things that he wanted to put in more in the anime, but obviously he can't do it anymore because it's already done.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like it's more like Oda, the way that he ran the live action show, he put in these different scenes as a way of saying, okay, if I didn't do it this scene that way already, I would have done it, taken this approach instead.
Yeah, see, so something like that.
And yeah, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you capture the spirit of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like you capture the spirit of One Piece and you do it in a way that's well told. Like that's what matters to me. And I feel that the live action really did its job.
Yeah, definitely the live action did a really good job, even though it's like not as thorough compared to like what the anime series does. But in the end, One Piece is still a very popular franchise, 1,000 episodes long. I don't know how the live action is going to deal with that, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have more and more seasons of One Piece. So.
Oh yeah, and I am all for it. It's
yeah.
Like I'm already hooked. I'm already hooked into One Piece already.
Was that a pirate reference or something?
Yes, it was.
God damn it. All right. So now you're into the anime, which is awesome. Anything else about the weekend or?
Yes. So on Sunday, of course, I went to see my friend Greg in San Francisco. We watched Saw.
Are you a big fan of? Why? I was never a fan. I haven't watched the Saw series at all.
I haven't watched the Saw series at all. But
why would you start at 10?
Greg got me. No, I saw Saw 1 in his house. I didn't see Saw 10.
Oh, you didn't see Saw 10? I thought you actually went to the theaters and saw 10 or something.
I kept telling him, since I haven't seen any of the Saw movies, prior to Saw 10, I don't think I'm going to see Saw 10. But then, it was Greg, like a Friday night, calling me, like, praising the hell out of Saw 10. So it's like, oh, okay, well,
What made you want to watch Saw? Because I can't watch Saw at all. It's really like a lot of screaming, and a lot of body parts taken out,
It's more like, okay, I saw Saw 1, I didn't see Saw 10 yet. Like Saw 1 actually, captures the traps in such a brilliant way.
Yeah,
and you got these twists and turns.
Yeah, but I'm not that big of a horror fan like that to say.
Yeah, no, I'm not that much into horror. But I only saw Saw 1 because, my Great Gary's friend, he calls himself Great Gary's, pretty much said that he would introduce me to Saw 1 one day. So, lo and behold, I did. Number 2, it's Halloween month. Okay,
yeah, it's true. So I'm guessing you're all watching a lot of horror films and stuff,
Not really, honestly. Well, because I'm still busy with my One Piece binge. Okay.
I know.
I gotta binge my pirate anime.
I'm still watching. I don't know. I have to actually continue doing something for Halloween. I mean, cosplaying is one thing, but then there's also the watching the Halloween movies part that also comes with it as well.
Yeah, all I gotta say is, be prepared for, be prepared for the bloody scenes. Watch more movies because they make you feel queasy.
Yeah, that's a good with that. I'm not a fan of horror, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be okay with. I mean, I watched Halloween, I watched Friday the 13th. Those are some that are like classics. But then when it comes to the newer horror stuff, not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch Exorcist then, and see if you can be able to withstand the Exorcist series.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. I don't watch much of the old or new horror movies.
Yeah,
I watched several here.
That new Exorcist movie just got hella creepy because the kids get possessed by demons. They go all over, haunting all over their families and stuff. I was like, I can't with that. It's creepy. Yeah. It's freaking creepy. Yeah, I can't. Oh man. Anyways, yeah. So that was your weekend. Pretty good.
Yeah, that was my weekend. And let me ask, how was yours?
Yeah. So on Saturday we went to so me and our friend Jess, we went to this one convention called FanCon. That's over at a mall. So it's in a mall in San Jose, where Round 1 is. I think you've been to the East Ridge Mall before, have you?
I've been to East Ridge, primarily for Round 1.
Yeah. So my friend Trina, she was a guest judge as a for the cosplay contest. And according to her, the cosplay contest was like, well, so the cosplay contest thing, it's that the rules is that they have to make their own cosplays. It'd be best if they make their own cosplays. So the contestants actually all came up to her and they said, most of them actually said they bought it. And it's and it's cringe for her. She said like, dude, I was gonna win the best craftsmanship because they didn't have the effort to make their cosplays. Like I would have to praise my friend Trina because she like commits and actually does like, she's a great cosplayer, by the way. If you haven't followed her, her Instagram is called Stitch Bewitched. So please follow her. You can see all her amazing cosplays. But she does it by hand. She doesn't buy anything. She buys it from hand, all the props and everything. So it makes sense for her to become like one of those judges. And it sucks that everybody who was being the contest, they just said they bought it. And I'm like, you're gonna lose.
Yes, it's like I buy cosplays myself.
Oh, so don't enter a cosplay contest then.
The thing is, I don't really enter cosplay contests because I know for a fact that if I do, I'm probably going to lose because there's someone out there, like, there's at least going to be one person that's going to go all out. And I'm just like, I don't go all out.
Yeah. And to be fair, FansCon was actually not bad of a convention. It was in a mall. It's for free. It's great. Because it's for free. That's one thing. It is kind of a small convention because they mostly did it all in the center of the mall. The stage was there. There's a performance, which is pretty cool. It's a band that performed called Character Select. There's actually like a Double Dare game that was like happening as well, which is pretty neat. And then the other thing too that kind of sucks is that the fact is like there's some normies versus like the weebs. So normies are gonna come by and they'll be like, they'll just bat an eye. They'll just be like, they'll walk by and then they'll just have like a weird look in their face or something like that.
I'm just like, hey, that's their problem,
I know, but then like the weeb culture has become a thing. Like anime has become huge.
Yeah, it's become mainstream pretty much.
It is, and it makes sense why it should be in a mall so that everybody can understand what these conventions are. Yeah. And props out to FansCon because they, made the commitment to actually like go all out, go to a mall, make a big convention, and then have all the things that have all the things they have in a convention. They don't have a dealer's hall. The dealer's hall is technically the mall. Yeah, go buy your stuff there. Go to Hot Topic. Go to GameStop. Go to all those places to get your anime goodies.
Oh yeah.
Cosplay contest was there. They had the stage. They had Artist Alley, which is pretty cool, but they had like 7 artists there. So I didn't really buy much when it comes to Artist Alley. I think that was pretty much it. Most of the time we just mostly walked around the convention. Walked around the mall. Then after that, we went to round 1, played some fun games there. I actually did win a couple of prizes on that crane game stuff. I actually have in my car, but I'll show it to you later. One of them is one that you probably like.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, one of them is one that probably you like. So I'll show that later after the show. Okay.
Yes.
It might actually be a thing here in our show, but we'll see.
Yeah. So needless to say that because of that, this room is probably going to be slightly different looking than what you're seeing now.
We don't know. I mean, I got a figure and a plushie. The plushie probably won't be something that would be good. It's just like one of those regular plushies, like one of those cute anime animal plushies. So yeah.
I see.
But besides that, that was pretty much it for my weekend. We did go on Sunday, which is our football Sunday weekend. Niners won 4-0, so awesome us.
Meanwhile, Aiden O'Connell let us down.
Dude, Aiden O'Connell beat the Niners.
Yeah, I know, and exactly. It's like he helped us out during preseason, so you think
it's different compared to the regular season.
You think he would be doing good during regular season, but no, I guess not.
Nope, not at all.
I felt like Obi-Wan can only for Revenge of the Sith, but I'm just like, Aiden, you were the chosen one. It was something that would make the Raiders better, not make them worse.
Well, the Raiders are not a good team to say. So, remember
we only won 1 game out of 4.
Yeah, 1 game out of 4. Niners are 4-0, so it's not too late to become a Niner fan.
I feel embarrassed and envious at the same time.
Yeah. We didn't do our drinking game yet. Omid, we should really do that soon, so you can get a beer every time any team loses, either Raiders or Niners. Or Raiders and Niners, then we'll put a beer bottle down and then you drink it for the whole entire stream.
Oh, dude.
It's not bad. You're drinking beer. It's going to be fun for you, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to have to drink beer because I want my Raiders to be good, but
you have to.
You'll probably
don't worry, it's going to be good beer. I mean, we could do Heineken or Stella or Michelob Ultra.
Hey, good luck with the Cowboys. So.
Oh, yeah. And what's your team that you're playing with? Oh, your Packers. You better be okay with the Packers. They suck too.
Yeah, we better not. We better pack up those Packers. You know?
Yeah. All right. So, but enough catching up time. It's time for us to actually talk about. It's actually time to start the episode here, and actually start about. Okay, so let's actually start the episode with our new weekly thing that we're going to be doing. It's called the Big City Greens episode reviews.
Bingo bang.
Because we new episodes are coming out for Big City Greens throughout October, and a lot more episodes are coming out pretty soon. So why not be able? Well, since we're big fans of Big City Greens, we'll go ahead and talk about Big City Greens. So this is an episode where Bill meets his favorite like comedian, and then he turns out to be a fraud, and then you get to see Cricket try to be a comedian as well.
Yeah, like first things first, I love the way that they capture stand-up comedy in general, where it's pretty much when you go into a comedy show, you know for a fact that they're gonna roast the hell out of you.
It's not really roasting; it's more towards like they have their own comedy bits. Like there's that one girl that did roasting. The other one is just regular old jokes about farming.
Yeah, so it really does depend on what style of comedy that each comedian goes for, but brace yourselves for the ones that do the roasting. The ones that don't do the roasting, you know, kick back and relax.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's pretty much all the synopsis of the episode, but let's actually just get through like most of the scenes here. Like you get to see Bill, you know, become a fan. Like, you know, he's a fan.
Bill's such a fanboy. Look at that. Bill's such a huge
He literally watches him on YouTube like every day, and now he gets to see him in person. Did you see that part where he was the last person in line and he couldn't be able to actually get an autograph?
Yeah, it's like such a relatable moment. As someone who goes to cons, I felt that.
Dude, so I had a friend who like was going to get autograph tickets for AX, and he was the last person to not get a ticket. He was the first person to not get a ticket. Like the person in front of him was literally like the person that got the last ticket. And so he was like literally on his like fours, just like down, his head down. It is the worst feeling ever, especially the fact that like you're literally next. You could have just done something like, hey, could you just make another ticket, and then we could be able to see our favorite like actor and actress, you know?
Yeah, so like needless to say, like, you know, like whenever I go to conventions, I'm pretty much this.
So you're
in terms of guests.
So that one guest that you met, let's see, Amity's voice actress, were you like that?
May Whitman, I was.
Did you actually have to wait like 2 hours in line to get her autograph, or?
Jess and I did, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, actually, the closest that I've been to, you know, becoming that was when I got to meet my favorite voice actor, John Yon Bosch.
Oh man, oh yeah.
JYP was the greatest human alive.
Yes, Mr. Ichigo and Lelouch Lamperouche.
The latter being my favorite anime character ever.
Yeah. Did you play that game, by the way? The new Code Geass Lost Stories game?
Yes, and I'm addicted to it.
Wait, what level are you on now?
So I've gone through the tutorial. Now I'm pretty much at the mode where I pretty much set up. Like I'm at the main menu now.
There you go. So. All right, so you're at level like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We'll compare our stats later. So I also get like this part here where like Tilly talks about classic comedy, literally just slipping on a banana and make the funnies, you know?
Come on, Tilly. That's grandma's comedy. Like, you know, that's old comedy.
So here's the part here that I was wanting to talk about, where Cricket wants to talk about roasting as well. And, you know, she's a perfect, like, roaster of a person. Like, she, like, looks at somebody, like, on the audience, and then they just roast them. And they get a laugh and stuff like that. But according to Cricket, he doesn't know how to handle, like, being roasted. Yeah. And so it actually starts to get a little offensive for him.
And then Cricket tries to get back at her by saying, like, you're stupid. And I'm just like, Cricket, I'm not sure that's
not how roasting is. It's like you just say this.
That's how roasting is.
Roasting is like you just say that. You don't say anything about her hair. You don't say anything about her like necklace or her pants or anything like that, you know?
I mean, to be fair, when you look at her, there's not really much you can roast, you know, about her. I mean, look at that. She looks
pretty neat.
She looks pretty attractive. She looks pretty gorgeous.
Maybe like something about her hair, or is it so blue? You know what?
I mean, I guess you could go for the ripped pants. That's pretty much
maybe the ripped pants. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Cricket, why did you go for the ripped pants?
He doesn't know how to do a roast. He just does some random like teasing instead of jokes.
Yeah, because as we all know, there are no comedy clubs in the countryside.
Yeah. So, you know, Cricket wants to try to roast, and then he ends up like getting all sweaty, not knowing how to roast, and he actually ends up like losing to the audience. So, oh man, I just feel bad for Cricket because like, what was it? That one Jennifer girl, she ends up like continuing to roast Cricket and then it made him run away from the stage and everything. So like it really offended him and all.
Yeah, poor kid. Like, look at that. You can feel for the poor kid.
Yeah.
It's like he literally got embarrassed on stage in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, poor Cricket though. He had to deal with the whole embarrassment there. But then we have to look back at, this one fake apparently. So, Bill and Alice wanted to get, Alice wants to get Bill's like wish done and wants to meet this one guy. And then when he literally went backstage, I really love the fact that like when he went backstage, this guard who was also like the bouncer of that one club we saw in Clubbed, he actually let him go because of that one joke. And I'm like, what?
Hey, Bill, bit of advice, buddy. Never meet your heroes.
Yeah. So when they actually went to the backstage and actually saw this one dude, he ends up becoming a fraud. He turns out to be an Englishman, not a real farmer.
Ooh, which doesn't sit well for Bill.
Yeah, because Bill was pretty much heartbroken from that. Yeah, I know. So yeah, in this one part here where Bill actually becomes the MC, he tries to set him up for failure.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way that Bill like looks at him, and then he's got that phone, raised up. He's be like, "I got you now, boy."
Yeah, he was asking questions of something stupid like how to fix a tractor, how to do all of this, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Well, look, Bill's face right here is pretty priceless.
I know. There's a lot of faces that I want to put up in this montage
Yes.
here, but yeah, I mean, Bill definitely. I'm not gonna be surprised. Like, if you saw your star like become a fraud, you would do the same thing, right? You would have your heart's broken. You want to expose him for being a fraud.
Yeah, like I would expose the hell out of someone like if I found out they were a fraud. It's just like, because I want to save, the audience the same heartbreak I felt. So
Yeah, see, so like I mean, like this would be ultimate revenge for that one star. So
Yeah.
I feel for Bill in that case, just because he had to go through just pretty much seeing your star and you never met your heroes, like what Omid said. So yeah. But then you also get to see the story of this one guy. Like he's apparently an English boy who has a dad who's a farmer. But the thing is, like he was raised to know comedy more than just farming.
you know what he looks like? Like he looks like if Gideon Gleeful.
I was gonna say because it looks like Gideon.
He looks like if Gideon was one of the founding fathers.
Oh my god!
I mean, look at the kid.
A little Gideon. Look at him though. He's like, well, I mean, he's short. He has like George Washington's hair.
Gideon Washington. He's Gideon Washington.
Well, here's what I like about this like backstory is because like he is a farmer sorta because his dad is a farmer, but he doesn't like farming, so he did the same thing as He did the same thing as trying to be a best at farming, but doing it as a comedian instead of being a farmer.
Yeah, like I like the fact that he like it was based on his father being a farmer and how much respect he had for his father.
So-
That it made him build his identity as someone who does comedy all based around farming. It's like massive
Really
respect for the
respectful.
guy.
Yeah, it's really respectful. And the fact that, like, I just love this whole backstory for him. I mean, well, it's like a little topsy-turvy. Where, like, Bill does it for farming, and he does farming for a long time. This is just more of, like, him just doing comedy. But then the comedy is actually reflecting towards his dad, which is, pretty amazing.
Yeah, in a way, his comedy is like a tribute to him.
Oh, yeah. And it definitely...
It's a
definitely a
tribute.
family thing. It definitely really it makes sense why like when Bill started to like call him out and then when everybody started to boo him, now he regrets it. So yeah. But now everybody, I just hate the fact that like the audience like say like, hey, he's a fraud, take him out of the comedian club or something.
He's a good fraud though.
Yeah, he's a good fraud, but then the thing is like that
He's still
that
kind
was
of a
Bill's
fraud
fault. It was
regardless.
Bill's fault for like calling him out like that.
I mean, he's still kind of a fraud regardless, but like he's not the type of fraud that does it for greed. He does it for like I said before, out of love. Not greed, it's out of love, rather.
I guess so. Yeah, that's true actually. But nonetheless, I mean, he still will do this comedy act, and hopefully, like as he tours around like the country and stuff like that, he'll not have that secret be revealed. Hopefully, nobody from that comedy club knows about the fraud part. Okay, so yeah, now we can see the whole backstory of this comedian. But you also got to go back to Cricket because he really was down in the dumps after what happened to him.
Hey, you could definitely say he was down in the dumps.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was putting that joke up there, by the way. I was one who said that. So
Good one.
Yeah. But yeah, Yeah, I can totally see Cricket like being offended and like, getting hella sad because of that. But I like this part here where like Tilly actually laughed at all of his jokes.
Yeah.
See, it tells you how like tells you how Tilly is just an amazing sister.
They have such a strong sibling dynamic, and I just love the show for it. Like Cricket and Tilly's sibling relationship is really strong.
Mhm.
Look at the way she pats Cricket's head. Look at the way she pats Cricket's head.
I know. It's so cute. And either way, like it's just awesome to see like that bond between Cricket and Tilly. Like they've had their fights here and there, but in the end, they're still little brother, big sister.
That's how siblings are. Siblings are usually like that.
Yeah, please have like these siblings be like amazing together. Maybe like have Tilly support Gabrielle and Cricket.
Yeah, like I would imagine Tilly being a huge like Cricket and Gabriella shipper.
Cricketella or something.
Cricketella. Sort of like how Anne was a huge Spivey shipper.
Oh yeah.
Have Tilly have the same energy.
Oh my god. So it's having that Amphibia vibe right now. So yeah, I mean, so Cricket is being relieved by Tilly, but the thing is, like, I mean, he wants to get her back, but we'll talk about that later. But obviously we get to see the one comedian get like hella exposed that he's a fraud, but now Bill comes back and pretty much says jokes at the end, and then he also gets egged. gets thrown tomatoes and like a lot of things.
Yes, tomatoes, yeah.
But here's the thing about it. They were all looking for a real farmer, but this is a comedy club. They wanted some laughs, so they have to bring in that one guy back.
Yeah. I mean, look at poor Bill. He's getting like tomato, but then here comes his hero to save the day.
Yeah, and in the end, everybody started laughing and all that, and they also having a fun time in the comedy club.
Yeah, I actually want to see more of this guy in the future because his backstory is really intriguing to me.
I don't know about that. Usually, those characters that just come in, they don't really get another callback or anything.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing like this character I think deserves more attention in my opinion.
Maybe, yeah, I would say maybe. So all's well and ends well when it comes to Bill and Alice, helping this man out, even if he was a fraud. But nonetheless, I think that he's still a fan of him, no matter what. But what happened to Cricket and this Jennifer girl? Well, Tilly
got the right idea.
Tilly did the same thing. Did her comedy bit, and it actually bit Jennifer in the butt.
Yeah, needless to say that I actually found this joke to be very appealing.
Oh my god!
This is quite an appealing.
Why are you putting the joke up now? Come on! Oh god!
I swear, I went bananas.
Stop! Stop. Oh my god! Okay, are you Luann now? Do you have the vibe of Luann here?
Yeah, she's actually looking at this and she's like, she's proud of me. It's like, I'm so proud of you.
Oh my god! All right. Anyways, like the episode was actually not bad. I really liked it. Enjoyed it really a lot. And it also just gives me like a big sense of like, some other side characters that Bill is like, he could be a big fan of like comedians, and also just tells like how Cricket can approach comedy and kind of like bite him in the butt. But in the end, there's people that are going to support him when it comes to his comedy, and
Tilly being one of them.
Yeah. So I thought that was, like I said, a really good episode.
Yeah.
How about you?
Definitely. I loved how he captured like different types of comedians and captured it very well. And the greens were really used in this episode. So yeah, I definitely say that this was definitely quite an experience. Like it definitely felt like going to a comedy club itself. You just said have a good time. I had a good time.
Oh yeah. So yeah, really good episode for this show. All right, let's move over to the next new episode that came out also for Big City Greens called Green Trial. This episode is where after cleaning up after doing some chores, Cricket is found being guilty of eating cake, and because of this sibling bond thing, Cricket wants to prove he's innocent, so he asks Tilly to help her out.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Nancy is the one that accuses Cricket of doing so, and she herself is on the opposite side, where she pretty much think of it like this: Tilly is a defense attorney, Nancy is the persecutor.
Pretty much. Well, Nancy's the judge. She was technically the one person to say who's guilty, who's not guilty.
Well, she's more like a persecutor and judge at the same time.
Yeah, I guess in that case.
So yeah, court is now in session.
So let's actually start stuff before court, where they were doing their chores. Cricket wasn't able to do so because apparently he broke his arm. And the thing is, at the end, they actually ended the whole thing early, that they wanted to taste Nancy's cake. And Nancy's cake was apparently like something that she made before, when she was living with her dad before.
And you can tell that, Nick is enjoying that cake frosting a little too much.
Well, the thing is, like, was it Nancy wants to make a cake, and Nick is just being Nick. He's just, being a jerk pretty much. So, it used to be a fun moment where you get this. I like how Nancy pretty much said, like, we always bond together with making that cake, and then they bond like this.
Yeah. Look at that. Nancy's like, hey, you're not supposed to be, you're not supposed to like the frosting.
Yeah.
I love the dirty look that like Nancy gives to Nick. It's such a cute father-daughter.
No, she literally like blew raspberries. I'm like, well, then again, their bond is pretty much, well, like a rivalry to say, because like when you see like the past times where Nancy and Nick used to like hang out together, it's more like, Nancy tries to impress, like Nancy's like, hey, like I have like awesome pants, and then Nick like hates it and stuff like that.
Yeah, like what I like about it, like it shows how like the Greens have always had this parent-child rivalry. Look at Cricket and Bill, for example. Cricket and Bill, as much as they love each other, they do tend to butt heads.
Yeah, same with Nancy and Bill. Oh, sorry, same with not Nancy and Bill. Alice and Bill. They've had that moments too. Remember when Bill wanted to become a gymnast and Alice wants him to be the best? Yeah, that episode was fun. All right, so let's move over ahead. They wanted to enjoy the cake, but the cake has been stolen. The cake has been eaten. What happened to the cake?
Who done it?
But the thing is, who's the only person that was there in the house? Cricket. So the whole family was accusing Cricket of stealing the cake.
So it wasn't the butler that did it this time. The butler didn't do it because there was no butler.
Yeah. So everyone was blaming. Like especially Nancy. Nancy was definitely blaming Cricket that he ate the cake. But in a frantic moment where Cricket wanted to prove his innocence, he called for like a sibling like bond or something like that. I forgot what the name was, but Tilly and Cricket were supposed to like work together to make sure that he's innocent. So Tilly called a child.
Yes. Look at Tilly. Like she means business right there when she gets this serious.
Well, I mean, they did the whole sibling thing, so I'm assuming that Tilly would like to focus definitely more on that. And then throughout the whole trial sequence, you get to hear like the Law and Order like theme song and stuff like that, and the Judge Judy theme songs and things.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, dun, dun,
So like in the background where they're trying to do the trial, you get to hear like all of those like crime. like the whole like late night, like the whole like prime time like shows that you get to hear when it comes to like those music and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look how elegant that Tilly looks here. Like,
how'd you get that perm and that hairdo to say?
Yeah, I mean, like it's not the first time we see her dressed that fancy. There was this one episode in which Tilly and Nancy go to the mall.
Oh, that one too. Yeah, but then she was trying to find her identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying like she is pretty much she can dress in anything.
Yeah,
that's what I like about Tilly is that you can put her in any situation, any atmosphere, and she can definitely make it work.
Yeah, and to say the least, like I know that she's trying to become like a lawyer to pretty much say all this kind of stuff here and there, or a prosecutor.
She's pretty much how they put it. She's pretty much Phoenix Wright in this. Like, she's pretty much what would happen if Big City Greens took a Ace Attorney approach.
Yeah, in that case, I would say that she would be acting like, Phoenix Wright in this case.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go straight to video game references now, are we?
Tilly Wright.
Okay. So we get to see stories where like Nancy would actually make some predictions about what happened to the cake. So
I would have said Phoenix Green, but let's be honest, they already have a dog named Phoenix.
Well, that's true, yeah. But yeah, I mean, here's this story where like, Nancy put up a scenario where like Cricket was, just not doing his chores, so in the end they all end up eating cake.
I kind of like how in the flashback or what is interpreted as a flashback, you see evil Cricket like the evil eyes, like the black eyes in the background, and then you see him like this cartoonishly evil 1930s villain mustache.
Yeah. So he's like trying to be that huge villain that you get to see. He's like, I'm gonna get my cake and all. Yeah. It's like a Waluigi or something.
I'm gonna steal the cake.
So yeah, in this part here, we get to see Alice's like 3 points where like he stole the cake. He got off chores for doing the cake, and then there's like this sweat stain where like he was where he was sweating after eating the cake and things like that. But you know, as you're in like trials and stuff like that, you do all these objection stuff here and there. I mean, even Tilly did her own objection.
Objection!
Yeah, he did her own objection.
Yes, I love it.
Oh my god, this was great, by the way. Just seeing that, I was like, wait, all these poses that I get to see. I'm like, why don't we have more epic moments like this? You know, why don't we have big city greets have epic moments like this?
Yes. Look at that. Like, you know, she really does, especially with the finger point. Like, you know, the powerful finger point. Well, that's the best part of it.
Yeah. So Tilly will do whatever it takes to make sure Cricket is innocent. But one big thing that happened was, that arm is moving. That is not broken.
Now that's kind of a huge red flag right there, because keep in mind, Cricket said that he was injured, therefore he couldn't be able to do the chores. But then you see that Cricket was lying all along. It's like, if he was lying about a broken arm, what makes you think that he wasn't lying about eating the cake?
So this is that one thing here where like I think the tables have flipped, because like I think like the whole family was assuming that Cricket was innocent until he started doing that, and it's like, this is not good now.
Even Tilly is in disbelief. Like, Tilly is in huge disbelief. She's
the
just
thing
like,
is, like when they committed to that one sibling promise or something like that. If it all goes wrong, then Tilly doesn't trust Cricket anymore.
Yeah.
So that shocked face makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, man, look at that face. It's just like the face of betrayal.
You betrayed me, brother. I thought you were the best brother that I had. You betrayed me, brother. Oh, and there's also another thing that also came up. Oh no, he had strawberry in his arm.
Another red flag, ladies and gentlemen. Another red flag.
He has strawberry in his arm, and Tilly was trying to do her best to at least make sure that it's not strawberry, but especially after tasting that frosting, that is strawberry. So,
yeah.
Oh no,
things ain't
looking good.
Things ain't looking good for our country, boy.
Yeah. So what happened after that was, well, it seems that everything. Well, they went to recess, and the thing is, like, obviously the siblings are trying their best to at least try to prove Cricket is wrong. And then I think like Nancy, Bill, and Alice were pretty much saying like, yeah, it's his fault, you know, that kind of thing. They're about to like say he's guilty, but there's this side story here where Cricket was apparently like doing this broken arm thing so that he could talk to her girlfriend, to his girlfriend.
Okay, shippers, get ready to hear this. Shippers, get ready to hear this.
He wants to talk to his girlfriend, Gabriella.
Yeah, and so he tries to, you know, pretty much portray himself like he tried to be cool and all that. You even get to see him in like his emo style hair in this, like that.
Like that.
I just love this.
Sup, Gabs.
Look at that. It's like he really does pull off that emo style well. So
the thing that's really embarrassing is the fact that he takes like 30 minutes to prep himself up before getting that call with Gabriella.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like either way, let's go back to where I was here. This kind of makes sense now that Cricket did this broken arm thing so that he can at least skip out so he can be able to talk to Gabriella, which kind of flips the script now, and it kind of makes Tilly say, like, we have another story here. Again, more epic poses.
Another objection.
It's more like I have to prove something. I love the fact that after this scene here, she pretty much admits that Cricket did eat the cake.
I like how Cricket, like in the background, he's like smiling. It's just like, that's my sister.
But then, like, go to the next scene after that, then you get to hear like Cricket get a little bit disappointed at Tilly, because Tilly is just pretty much proving that Cricket is guilty.
Oh my god!
but Tilly did have proof this time. For once, I love how Cricket actually drew Gabrielle in this.
That's so cute. That's so cute.
Well, again, then they're like, you know, cool together. They're ship and all.
Yes.
So then we also go to all 3 points that Alice was talking about. First off, number 1, Cricket may have not eaten the cake because he was being nervous at, you know, talking to Gabriella. So he did all these singing things and he messed up the whole kitchen because of that.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. That kitchen's kind of a mess.
Yep. But then again, he wants to talk to Gabriella, so he wants to like sing it out so he can make sure that he's not nervous.
That's true.
Yeah. So no, good for Cricket, but then still a bad way to look at it, just considering that the cake is gone. The sweat things that Alice was talking about. I'm sorry, the sweat things that Nancy was talking about. There it is. He's pretty much was just like using it as like a way to take away the sweat and all that he was dancing with. So there's that. And then in part 3, we actually get to see the whole entire video where he just tries to prep himself up, and you get to see all the videos that he was like apparently spending 30 minutes of just like prepping himself up and then skipping out on chores because he can talk to Gabriella. Yeah. It's, so weird.
So we have a motivation why. Like we have a reason why he decided to skip out on chores, not because he's lazy or anything, which I thought at first. I thought it was like, okay, Cricket, like you fake being injured to get out of work, you lazy.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards that too, because I was thinking like, all the points were leaning towards it, but until the Gabriella story came out, and it's like, okay, maybe there's a chance that he may have been innocent from that. Yeah. And in the end, Nancy did say that Cricket is innocent, not guilty. And I love the fact that they're cheering for that.
Yes, it was a victory.
It was a victory, yes. So Cricket didn't end up eating the cake, which is amazing. But the problem is the cake is gone. Who really ate the cake?
Who done it?
Yes.
Who done it?
Who done it? And this last minute of the episode actually shows who ate it. First off, the arms were one thing. The yellow arms. And I was thinking back there, I was like,
I thought it was Alice.
I thought Alice too. Yeah, I was thinking it was Alice. Yeah, because she may have eaten the cake,
It's the wrinkly arms.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the wrinkly arms and all. I was thinking maybe it was Alice that ate it. But the thing is, like, I think she's short, so she can't be able to reach from the top. So you're kind of wondering, like,
unless she. Well, here's the thing: she's resourceful enough to have a ladder.
Maybe. But yeah, I was thinking the weak arms and stuff. And I love the fact after seeing this, Nancy knows who it is, and it turns out to be his dad. Her dad is back.
It's Grandpa Nick.
It's Nick. It's her dad. And I think what was it? I think Cricket and Tilly had never met him before.
Wow. Who'd have thought that you would be framed by your grandpa for eating cake?
Yeah. Again, it's Nick. I'm assuming Nick has never lost his
Hey, Grandpa Nick, you framed me for eating the cake.
I was thinking like, maybe Nick is still having that bad side of him where he's doing all these like sleazy deals, things here and there. And so he just comes up randomly to Nancy's house or the Green's house and just ends up stealing a cake or something.
Makes me wonder how they're going to handle his character in the next episode, because from what we see here, it's actually a two-parter.
It is a two-parter, yes.
It's going to be to be continued, so we're going to see more of this guy.
Yeah, next week, the next time we're going to do another episode of the Anination Podcast, we will be talking about the new episode that will have, Cricket and Tilly hang out with Nick.
Yeah,
it's not going to be a 30-minute episode where, like, for example, Cricket and Tilly were able to see their mom again.
Yeah, so, like there's so much you could do with Nick already. Like, will you have, Nick spending time with, his grandchildren and then Grandma Alice gets jealous? Or will you have Nancy Green try her best to, reconnect with her father, but then it's going to be tough because of, Nick's background and all that stuff?
So,
or both.
I just really hope it's not a big influence for Cricket to start becoming bad, because, he could be a good kid, bad kid, depending on who is like teaching him. Because
needless to say, he's gonna be the devil in Cricket's shoulder.
Because the thing is, like, when Tilly and Cricket saw Nancy again, what was it? Cricket didn't want to be the good kid, so that's why he ended up releasing animals to the zoo. I don't know what will happen when he meets up with Nick.
He'll probably be worse than Nancy in terms of influence.
I would say so.
Yeah, he'll be the devil in Cricket's shoulder.
Pretty much,
the devil in Cricket's shoulder, where it's like he's going to lead him down the path that rocks.
Oh, that's not gonna be good. And hopefully Tilly reasons with Cricket or something, or reasons with Nick, because she's too pure to not be a bad girl. Yet again, we saw her be a bad girl one time.
Yeah, Tilly Trouble. I remember that.
It was a good episode.
It was a good. I will say, it was interesting to see Tilly take this bad girl approach, and I do like the message at the end that Grandma Alice gives out. Like the message of the show is something that I try to take in every single day that I live, because it's a really important message in life.
Yeah, and so now it makes us think what will happen in the next episode, because that definitely is the one big thing that we have to watch.
Yeah, like Cricket has an angel and a devil on his shoulder. Like he already does have an angel and devil on his own, according to that one episode. But have the angel and devil be in different forms, where you got his sister Tilly as the angel, and then you got this guy as the devil.
That's right. I'm just gonna say here for the next episode, this is gonna be quite an interesting feeling that I got, where like Cricket would become a bad kid, and maybe Tilly would probably lead him over to being good again.
Cricket trouble. Yeah, you already got Tilly trouble. You got we don't get Cricket trouble.
Also, shout outs to Billy West, who did the voice of Nick. He's still the same old Nick.
Billy West is an iconic legend.
Dude, he started from Doug all the way to now. He's spent 30 years of like voice acting. He's still a legend,
including Fry from Futurama.
Yeah, and he's still doing Futurama right now. So
yes,
yeah. I don't know. He kind of sounds like Roger to me when I first heard of it. So.
And like he has voiced a few Futurama characters, also like Zep Brannigan is another example.
Yeah,
and all that.
More
stuff.
Futurama, huh?
I love Futurama.
Yeah, it's a really great show. So I haven't seen the new show. Is that good?
The new series does hold up.
Okay. I'll have to check that out later. Oh, but so to say the least, the episode was actually good. I did like the whole trial thing that the Greens had to go through, but then that twist at the end definitely took the cake. Yes,
and also. Shout outs Farnsworth and Zoidberg. What about Zoidberg?
So man, Billy West did a lot for Futurama, huh?
That's what I like about Billy West, like him as an actor in general. He has that range. He has that voice acting range.
Let's actually talk about the news that happened recently in animation. And the first thing I want to talk about, and I'm very sorry we're going to bring this up again, but we have to talk about Ghost and Molly Mcgee again. There are signs. There are really huge signs right now that are telling us that this season 2 of the Ghost and Molly Mcgee is probably going to be the last. We've seen this. I've seen this over at X. I was kind of wondering if this is true or not. And they did pull it. They did pull the news aside because it kind of tells you like they may have been faked or stuff like that. But when Amphibia, the X site, actually did say that they were going to take away, that is going to be the last season, I kind of had a feeling that it may have been the last season. Because, it's how would I say it? Disappointing for this season. That if it's going to be the last season for the Ghost of Molly Mcgee, this isn't a good way to end out.
You ended on a whimpering note. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. So when I heard about the news that there's a possible chance that it could be canceled, that it could be done, like season 2 is probably the final season, like I was leaning towards it may be happening. Because here's the other signs that also came up. Sammy Crowley, she put up a post saying like, hire me for another project.
That is not a good sign. Because Sammy Crowley was really essential in doing her work for Ghost and Molly Mcgee, as she was when she did Loud House.
Yeah, I mean, she put credits on Loud House and the Ghost and Molly Mcgee as like a writer and like all these other stuff. But it kind of tells me like, what's going on? Why is she not working in season 3? Plus, even Bill retweeted the post saying like, please hire Sammy. Same with Miguel Puga, and same with the fan page of the Loud House because I did the same thing. I made sure Sammy gets everybody's attention for another cartoon. But it kind of tells me like, why is Sammy leaving? Is it because she wanted to pursue other projects, or they didn't want her, or is the show done? I
really hope it's not the third thing.
Yeah. So when you heard about those rumors about the season 2 being the last season, what do you have to say?
All I gotta say is those rumors better not be true, because you ended season 2 on that when it was quite inferior to season 1. Like I said, you're ending on a whimpering note. I would say give it another season so that season 3 can build upon itself and to, have it expand upon the human universe and the ghost universe, because there's so much that you could do after season 2 in terms of humans, ghosts, and how they can coincide and interact with each other.
I kind of don't like it to end because like the thing is like you have some good, awesome character development when it came to Libby and Andrea, and of course Molly's just still being Molly. But then there's a lot of other side stories that need to be answered, and I don't like it being so fast. Like you will have 6-7 more episodes to at least give us the answer of like who this one Ada girl is that Scratch knows, or having the whole Chen family like ghosts, or have like the whole entire like the Molly ship happen.
There's so much to explore, and you
can't do it in 7 episodes. You can't do it in 6 or 7 episodes. I just feel like if you're doing that, you're gonna rush it, and it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna make the Ghost and Molly Mcgee good.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you have so many questions to answer. There's so much questions that go into this show. You have so much to explore, and to end it like that so quickly leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, and I just hope it's not a big like. I know that the creators want a third season. But the thing is, like, is Disney, if Disney stops it in 2 seasons, that again, another blame for Disney. And then you can go back to what happened in the Owl House, where a lot of Owl House fans get on to a rebel and say like, hey, why'd you cancel it? You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. This is where I'm kind of like the Owl House fans got really crazy. And it kind of feels like the Ghost and Molly Mcgee fans are going to do the same thing too.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, because if you guys remember, the Owl House got cut short. Like, season 3 got cut short. There could have been more. It could have been complete. But, of course, due to, studio mandate and all that stuff, due to, like, studio interference, we could have gotten a complete Owl House series. But instead, we only got what the studio allowed. And
the thing is that they could have gotten more episodes or something, but they gave us 3-hour episodes of Owl House for season 3. And to be fair, it's still not bad. Like, I look, if the decision is going to be like that, that's fine. But my thing right now is more like, if you're going to cut the Ghost and Molly Mcgee soon, then can we at least have like 7-hour episodes instead of 30-minute episodes? Because there's a lot more that needs to be built from this show.
I agree.
There's a lot of things to be answered. And it sucks that if it actually ends in 2 seasons, you're kind of like leaving everybody out on the loop, and this is going to be a bad show.
Don't keep us in the dark, guys. Like, Ghost and Molly Mcgee, don't keep us in the dark.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things that we want. Maybe another Jinx episode, maybe another Andre episode, maybe something that can help out with Molly. Everybody wants a June episode, so...
I want a June episode! Are you kidding me? Like, I love June. She was my favorite Chen.
Because she is autistic, yes, I know.
Not only that, but she managed to be badass on her own, like, as well. Like you see her with the gun. Like, yeah. And plus she's really clever when it comes to tricks and traps and all that stuff.
So how many times have we seen how many times have we seen June ever since she premiered in the first episode of season 2?
Unfortunately, it was about like a few times more.
Yeah,
but they were minor roles. That's the
thing.
They're
only small little things. You're not building on the Chens. This is making it a bad show now because you're not really building on these other secondary characters around. You had focus on Libby. You had focus on Andrea, which is great. But then of course Ollie was another person too, and I know that you wanted to do the whole ship with Ollie and Molly, but that didn't work out in the end because everybody started to hate that.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, they underused June so much, and it pisses me off. Another thing, too, is that, like Ollie and Molly could have been great. It could have been great, but then what happened was that it pretty much took away from the charm of the show rather than adding the charm.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen for this season, but like if they are going to end it in a couple of episodes, you got to do a really good job when it comes to actually getting all the answers done. Yeah. Because ever since the new episode stopped, there are a lot more questions to be answered with like Ada, for example, and so many, many. You can't. It would suck if it did end after those episodes, but
yeah, it's just like, please do not end it right there. It's way too early. And plus,
it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for Ghost and Molly Mcgee. And like I said, I'm kind of favoring towards getting a season 3, but at the same time, if it does end with season 2, this may not be one of the best shows in Disney Channel.
Yeah, honestly, it's gonna be like the biggest letdown since Star Versus.
Oh God, don't remind me of Star Versus. You had 2 seasons to at least try to get the story back up. Instead, you made it worse.
Yeah, I feel like the Ghost of Molly Mcgee is gonna suffer from Star Versus syndrome.
Oh man, I just hope it's not the case here.
I mean, like, not really follow the same problems, but like have its own problems, but then like be similar to Star Versus, where like you start off great, but then you're pretty much dipped afterwards.
Right. We'll see how it goes, but like I said, Ghost and Molly Mcgee does not look great right now. We don't know. I really am hoping that we get the season 3. If anything, please support the show via Disney Plus, via whatever comes on Disney Channel, those kind of things. That's the only way that Disney can actually bring a season 3.
Yeah, so please go to Disney Plus and just like watch the show. Honestly, watch the show regardless because it's such a great show. Like, it's just that like mid-season 2 is where it kind of
really dipped. It really dipped. I'm not gonna lie, it did really dip in season 2. So
I still recommend watching the show because for the most part, it captures the charm and all that stuff. For the most part.
I don't blame Ollie. Okay, do not tell me that Ollie is the mistake here. Okay,
we know who to blame. Just kidding.
The writers, right?
Yes.
They told me Sammy got fired because of that then.
I really hope not, because I know for a fact that Sammy's better than this.
Yeah, Sammy's better than this, so I'm hoping that's not the case.
Every writer has their duds, so you know what? I think we'll just if by any chance Sammy was responsible for the weaker episodes, we'll just look at it as that. Just the duds on her portfolio.
Yeah, I guess that's how we get to see it. But I really hope Sammy does end up getting like another job in another cartoon somewhere.
Oh yeah, she deserves better. She deserves a good job.
Now let's actually head back to Monday, October 2nd. Because a lot of people are putting up on X and all of social media that it was the second anniversary of the third season premiere of Amphibia. And it made me want to rethink about Amphibia because, well, that whole season 3 definitely had a lot of questions to answer considering what happened at the end of season 2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and this is where a certain episode comes in.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new normal, season 3, episode 1.
So the thing is that in the end of season 2, we get to see, well, we could just talk about the last 5 minutes of season 2. I mean, we did a whole freaking stream about like the True Colors review, and we get to see like, oh, we were thinking that Sasha was going to backstab Anne again, and save the world. They arrested Sasha, and Marcy was also being a hero as well. Until Andreas actually showed his real story, and turns out he wants to rule all over Amphibia. And also the same thing too. Marcy also betrayed her best friends. Yeah.
Marcy, I love you, Buzz.
Yeah, what she did actually was dragged her friends along because she wanted to hide the fact that she was moving out.
Yeah, but think of it this way: if she hadn't done what she did, we wouldn't have gone to Amphibia.
That's true, but at the same time, it's like, at what cost? At what cost?
Like she was a kid, you know, and she was gonna move out. She was gonna be away from her best friends, like. Of course, she was overwhelmed. Like, she didn't know what to do. So she thought, you know what? Like, why not be with Anne and Sasha forever on a different world?
Still, it's not the way to do it. I mean, if anything, Marcy should at least face her fears and stuff like that. I know you're moving out, you lose your best friends, but you have to face it. I mean, read the journal, by the way. There's a lot more to come. There's a lot more that comes to it.
Marcy's journal is such a fantastic read. I recommend it.
Okay, so again, a lot of questions to be answered from the end of season 2. First off, Sasha is still stuck up in the castle. Grime is still stuck up in the castle. The planters are now in LA, that you see here. They're back in LA. Anne and the planters are back in LA. What happened to Marcy because she got stabbed? Yeah. So again, when we look back in how season 3 started, we don't see a lot of those answers, but at least we get to see what happened to Anne and the planters. Because now they're living in LA, and it's a different world compared. Well, I mean, Anne knows LA, but the thing is, like, it's a different world compared to for the planters.
Yeah. So pretty much what we have here is a role reversal in which you see in the beginning of Amphibia, like season one was about Anne trying to get adjusted to this new world that she's been transported in, and the planters help her guide through, like all the life situations that go on in Amphibia. Here, it's the role reversal. Like, it's this, where positions are reversed, where it's the planters that are transported in the human world, specifically LA, and Anne has to be the one to guide them. Pretty much. Like they guided her in the beginning.
Pretty much. And the thing is that, there's still that kind of selfishness that Anne has. At the same time, you also got the planters also having their character flaws as well. Nonetheless, they're stuck in LA. And this is how the episode starts. They literally were in LA traffic, just stuck in this world pretty much.
And no, that's not an exaggeration. That's how traffic really was back then.
That's how LA is, by the way. It's just traffic everywhere. Yeah. And the thing is that Anne didn't believe that she was in LA until she noticed that she had 5G, and she started Where's it at plushie when I need her?
It's okay. You got best girl right here.
Hey, what are you talking about? Anne is best girl. Get the fuck. I'm sorry, who's God? Yeah, she's God.
But hey, who started the whole series in the first place? She did.
No. For what cost? Like I said, at what cost? What cost? Well, yeah, she's back home. And first off, there's a lot of big changes. I mean, Polly now has legs. So it's great to see that she's now having legs and she's trying to use them perfectly.
Yeah, like she's pretty much enjoying having her legs because my little baby's got legs.
Yeah. So throughout this whole first scene, we get to see Anne getting back home. I'm going to skip this one here, actually. Oops. No. Okay, so she's back home. Awesome. After the boon choice and stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, the one thing that we wanted to see was how would Anne react? How would Anne's parents react knowing that her daughter was gone for 3-4 months?
Now, as you can see, the boon choice parents aren't doing so well. It isn't until, of course, there is a certain knock on the door, and wouldn't you know it, like certain people are reunited.
Yeah, and this one came out.
Yes, the reunion at the boon choice.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did tear up when it came to this. I'm like, oh my god, Anne,
and the tears flowing.
Mom and dad are back, and I'm like,
it's
so
like,
sad.
Look at that.
I did actually tear up just the fact about I don't know, like literally like when season 2 ended, I was so hooked in season 3.
Yeah.
And when I saw this moment, I'm like, why am I who's cutting onions here? Like, who's literally cutting onions here, man?
Get those onions out of here. Get those onions out of here, bro.
Actually, somebody corrected me. It was 5 months, so sorry about that, guys.
Yep, 5 months. A little bit of correction.
Yeah, but God, this
look at
moment
that.
here.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Actually, there's another moment here too. I love this part here where it's like
Domino said that.
Domino.
Is it Domino and Anne's
Like
arms?
don't make me tear up again just because of this. And
By the way, Domino is God. He's the Alpha and Omega.
Plus, the other thing too is like I remember like what was it just like literally just going to her hair saying like, "Hey, are you clean? Did you eat? Did you what's up with your hair? You know, that kind of thing." Oh my gosh! But yeah, awesome reunion for the Boo Choice. It's just a wholesome moment. Definitely loved it. Yeah.
Like I said, you got the cat. Look, you're holding God, Anne. You're holding God.
No, it's Domino. It's not the Domino that we know back in heaven. So this only lasted for 1 minute because the planters are now also in there to see.
My God, the reveal, man, the reveal.
Dude.
Especially Sprig when he like introduces himself. It's just
Hi
like,
there, Mr. Wait, hi there, somebody. Buncho, somebody parents or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, like pretty much like Sprig introduces like, you know, the Boon Choi parents is like, you know, Anne's best friend and all that stuff.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that I just love the fact that like a bird just comes by and like you can see Hop Pop just goes like, "And we're the planters."
Oh man,
the scene was just iconic, by the way. And of course, catching up. I mean, this was kind of funny because the fact that like I think Anne's dad fainted because of seeing that.
I know, I love that.
So yeah, I mean, Anne's back. Here's the thing. The whole thing is that she had to explain everything about what Amphibia was, where she was for 5 months, and who these frog people are. So like, she was actually very truthful right there, saying like, I have to save Sasha, I have to save Marcy, I need to go back, you know, that kind of thing. Of course, it did confuse mom and dad, obviously. But at the same time, it did make so. They did this whole quarantine thing where they have to like stay in the house, where Anne has to stay at home. Same with the planners as well.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on that? Because it kind of makes sense considering that Anne was missing for 5 months, and I don't want anybody to see that Anne was gone for 5 months. And at the same time, like frog people in LA, ooh, this is gonna be weird.
Yeah, now you might think that the Boon Choi parents are suffocating Anne and the planters, but really this isn't the case at all. You got to think about why they're doing this. Number one is that, well, let's be honest here. Like, Anne's been missing for 5 months, and when you're missing for 5 months, like, you don't know where she is for 5 months, like, of course you're gonna be going like that level of protection. Second off, you got frog people in the human world, so of course you're gonna do your best to hide like certain anthropomorphic characters that did care for Anne, like for the 5 months that she was gone, because, well, what would happen if the planters got out in public?
You'll have some really psychic people. What happened to that one guy from the Owl House? What if he comes by and he'll be like, "Hey, we frog people? Oh my god!" Yeah, that one guy from
the conspiracy.
Yeah, he captured V. What if he actually sees these frogs? He probably captured them too.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like that one scientist that what was it? Forgot her name. I forgot their name. What's her name again?
It's that old scientist.
Yeah, it's the old scientist. But then she was working under who? Sorry, she was working with who? That one blue-haired girl. Forgot.
Oh, I love the blue-haired girl, Tambry.
Is it Tambry? Terry. Yeah, it's Terry. Oh my god, we're getting this wrong. What's going on with us? We're forgetting a baby. So we have to watch it again.
I love Terry, by the way. Like, she's one of my.
The pronoun is now it's perfect right there in the journal now.
All right. I need to read the journal again.
Yeah. It's was it transgender? So
I apologize for the pronoun error.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they're okay. Besides that, Anne and the planters are pretty much in lockdown. So Anne will do whatever it takes to make sure that she likes the lockdown and she's going back to her regular clothes. I love the
look at how she embraces. She embraces her
I know,
clothes.
she embraces her clothes. At the same time, she also did like puff up into like a big marshmallow just because it's like I miss my clothes. I hate wearing my school uniform throughout the entire thing. And then you can see the planters who are like in water. I mean, they're frogs. They have to like live in water, so you get to see this like whole mess here.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's also a lot of scenes too where like I think like her mom, like Anne's mom, was like trying to like create like fix her hair up while she was sleeping.
Oh god.
Yeah. And there was also one time where like I think she was about to brush her teeth and her mom like came up there and approached her.
Toothbrush. Toothbrush. She approached her with a toothbrush.
Yeah. So to say the least, they don't like getting quarantined.
Yeah, like you see, like, you know, Anne's mom especially being protective of her, and like I said, it makes sense.
So also she tried to pull the point that like, hey, I won't be responsible. I'll take care of the plantars. But remember what she said when she was 6? I hate responsibility.
Yeah, like she responsibility is her worst enemy.
It kind of makes me think like when she was growing up, she was a brat.
Yeah, but thankfully she had loving parents to raise her and to teach her right from wrong. So
it's weird, yeah, because like when she was a baby, she goes like, "I tell you what I need." When she does this whole thing, and then like her mom gets like hella angry at her.
Then again, this is pretty much the same girl that was ditching school with Sasha 6 years later.
It's
so
true, but then again, we were all thinking like she was a bad influence back in season 1 when we thought Sasha was a bad influence.
yeah, and she was actually.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, now the Boon Choys and the planters are now going to do a little journey just so they can get out of the house. Make sure that their parents were also with them too, just heads up. But meanwhile, back in Amphibia, something is happening already in Amphibia where Andreas is about to take over. Well, first off, he wants to take over Amphibia. That's one thing. But remember, Anne is the enemy. According to Andreas.
Yeah,
according to Andreas. So he sets up this one frog robot thing to kill Anne.
Yeah, and pretty much like he's the kind of robot that could turn invisible too.
I'm just so weird. I'm just like so freaked out just the fact that like they want to destroy Anne. But Anne is, I get it. She's supposed to be the hero and like will stop all of Andreas' plans. But I'm like, don't kill her.
Andreas wants to kill her.
I know. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, now that made me hooked even more. It's like, okay, this is pretty much life or death now for Anne.
Not only does he want Anne's head, he also wants a copy of the Cynthia Cutting book.
That was hella random. I'm like, what the fuck?
See, what I love about Andreas as a villain is that he's a nice blend. He's a nice combination of threatening and comedic.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, I'm like, oh my god, please don't do this to Anne. I know that she's like going to ruin your plans, but like, she's not that big of a threat. She's a great character.
Yeah. I love the part where he even says, give me those potato chip things she was talking about, and then the robot's like, eliminate potato chip.
For real. Oh my god. But still, the whole thing here is like, I know that he's trying to be funny to get at least some things from Earth, but that thing's a threat. That thing is a threat. Yep. And throughout season 3, we're gonna see him a lot, by the way.
Yeah, and so and then like right after the robot leaves, we get a rather
yeah. So we kind of so here's the thing.
Rather heartbreaking.
Okay. I was gonna say this because of what happened at the end of season 2. You know what happened to Marcy? She ended up getting stabbed. But now we kind of wonder what happened to Marcy. Because look, you're not gonna leave her out there dying. So she ended up becoming. She ended up in a freaking incubator.
Wait, why do you have to show me this?
There's one scene that we have to answer what happened to Marcy. We had to answer what happened to Marcy. Look, she's not gonna die. She's not gonna die. Hopefully, and then.
Look at her. She's in a coma.
Look, she's like, we're not gonna let her. We're not gonna say she's gonna die, or else soccer moms are just gonna go over our faces and cancel this podcast. I know. Dude, it hurts to even see this too because it's like I know that you got stabbed. You literally had a sword go through your body, and this you had to make her pretty much like stay alive. So
seriously, it's just like.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised about this that she ends up getting actually a full recovery from that stab. So it tells me. So what Marcy said in the journal, like, oh, Amphibia tech is really amazing. So why don't we have that tech here in the world, in our world?
Yeah, it's just like Why are we not funding this?
I know. It's hard to see just because like you only see like what 5 seconds of this.
Yeah.
But it's like
My poor mama.
But that happened, man. That happened. I know. Okay. And a bad news. Let's go back to the Anne and the planters. So Anne pretty much dressed up the planters, make them look human, and they went to 99 Ranch. 99 Ranch
Markets. I go to 99 Ranch. Oh, okay.
I know what you're trying to. I
love what they did there. Like they got their own 99 Ranch market.
I know
called
what you're trying to do, Matt Brawley. I know what you're trying to do, Matt Brawley. You're trying to like do a little spin-off of 99 Ranch, which is popular here in California. So,
by the way, I go to 99 Ranch Market for the instant ramen noodles.
Oh, I go to what was it? Not Kinokuniya. I go to Mitsuwa, those H Mart, those Japanese places to actually get.
Well, yeah, because you're much closer to those than I am.
That's true, yeah. But there's also that one. What was a Japanese place over Warm Springs? You check that out too.
I've been there a few times. It's really good.
Yeah. But yeah, they went to 99 Ranchers. And the thing is, like, what was it? Planters want to see how the stores are. The stores are great. They had like awesome food, even durian, which apparently poisoned.
Oh god, yeah, durian. Yeah, it's a poisonous smell.
Yeah, it's a really bad smell. And then also Anne talked about noodles, which is like pretty much I don't know what they ate. I think they ate ramen or something, but they loved it. The planters really loved it.
Noodles are Asian food's heart and soul. I agree with Anne on that.
Yeah, Anne even said that.
Yes, I agree with Anne. Asian, like I'm someone whose favorite food is ramen. Like I love me some ramen. It's my favorite food ever, and I love me some East Asian cuisine in general as well. Like I love me some pho, and even non-noodle Asian food. I love Korean barbecue. I also love sushi. I love sashimi. Like I love all the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like something that planters don't have. They don't have noodles. So in the end, at least Anne is showing like what great food is around the earth to say.
Yes, she really is. Especially this delicious ramen.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, it looks like they're having a fun time. And then the robot came out. And now things are getting into trouble now.
Oh my
gosh. So here's the thing, like. They don't want to fight in this mall because obviously this is going to be weird. It's like, oh God, a big robot coming to fight. And, this is going to be weird. This is going to be strange because like, obviously it's a public place. People are going to be like, what happened here? Holy crap, there's a fight,
Yeah.
So Anne was trying to do as much as she can to at least hide it, and do whatever it takes to make sure that this whole...
Look at this boom tour rocking. It's really awesome.
They're trying to do whatever it takes to make sure that this robot thing doesn't like become a public nuisance. And that's why like you see Anne and the planters like take it down while Anne's mom and dad are literally just listening to the music and 99 Ranchers just started to rock with it.
Miss Boon Choi in that rock pose is like, no wonder I love her so much. Look at that.
Yeah, she's a great mom.
Yes.
And you MILFs better shut the fuck
up. Nate, I think you just called me out.
Oh, you just
called me out.
Okay, there's one MILF. If we're talking about this now, I say Nancy is the one I would. One is Nancy for me.
Well, the thing with Big City Greens is that I got my eyes set on a different girl in that series. Much younger, by the way. So, let's wait.
Do you know what MILFs mean?
No, but I get what you mean. Like, but what I mean is like I have an eye set on that girl, but the only difference is that she doesn't have the M part.
Yeah.
She's an elf, but not the
But I know all of you are totally into Aunt's mom. I know all of you are totally into Aunt's mom. You all gotta stop. You guys gotta stop.
Did I just raise my hand?
Yes, you did. Oh, yeah, we had it recorded right here, so I'm pretty sure everyone knows now.
Oh, great! I really got.
I at least admitted Nancy's, a MILF, so I would. Yeah.
She's quite attractive too.
Yes. Oh my God. But Gloria's not. Okay, so she's not.
She's not a mom, of course not. But.
It's got very adult. We gotta stop this here. Okay. Anyways, continuing on. So again, this robot wants to kill Anne. That's their main goal. When they went to this freezer, this is where the planters were about to actually almost die because this robot is about to destroy them. And then at the last moment, you get to see Anne unleash her blue powers.
Super Saiyan. Anne goes Super Saiyan.
I don't know why, because I know that she unleashed her powers back to true colors, but then here in this moment, it just made me love her more.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can take out anytime. I'm like, yo, I love her now.
You see that fiery passion in her eyes.
Yeah, and of course, she's just trying to help the planters because the planters are like her family. And if you actually mess up with their family, get those blue eyes out. And I'm like, here goes the ultimate form of Anne Boon Choi. Yes.
Amphibia Ball Z.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was just so happy.
I was
just so happy to see that she has her blue power still, and that she can still become a kick-ass person.
Yeah.
Yeah. TLDR, Anne kicks the robot out of town, gets it out of 99 Ranchers, and pretty much rescued the planters.
I love how she, like, the expression she pulls off, like when she pulls.
Well, she was tired. Well, she was tired. She was a tired person. But you know what happens when she gets those blue powers? She gets really tired.
No, I'm just saying, like, Anne's such a mood right here.
Yeah, it's true.
She's such a mood.
But yeah, I mean, at the end, she saves the planters. They pretty much finished up their 99 Ranchers grocery shopping. But it did raise a lot of questions. Is this blue powers going to kill Anne? Is this blue powers really helpful for Anne? And how about that robot? Is that robot destroyed? Because that thing is still going to be out there for a long time.
Oh yeah, like that robot still got his eyes set on Anne, unfortunately. Yeah. So she has to watch her back now.
So that was pretty much our little rundown of the new normal, which was the season 3 premiere of Amphibia. When I look back and talking about this episode, I was like, obviously the thing that came to mind is like, what happens next? Because I know I saw the intro. I saw what's going to happen to Marcy, for example. She's pretty much in an incubator for like half the season. Then what happens to Sasha? Because I also saw Sasha was also leading a rebellion to take down Andreas, which is great. But those are like intros. There's not really much explanation.
Exactly. And even with that, like season 3, the problem I have with season 3 is that it didn't give much focus or attention to Sasha and Marcy as it did to Anne, where she introduced the frogs to her hometown. I felt like it could have been more balanced.
Yeah, if we could at least have like more episodes of Sasha and more episodes with Marcy. But then again, Marcy was in an incubator for most of the time. And then she became that thing.
We're going to talk about that thing later on.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. I love this episode. Like, this was a perfect like way to start off season 3. Because there, again, a lot of questions to be answered for season 2, knowing the fact that there's so many things that happen in season 2. But in this part, we know what's going to happen. We get to see a little bit of what's going to happen with like Anne, for example. She's pretty much saving her life. Like things can happen where if one false move happens, she could be dead. And then we also get to see the planters. They're pretty much a risk. They're pretty much a risk factor right now because like the planters are just there. They're stuck in LA, and what are they gonna do? They can't do much. They don't have the powers. They're just there.
Yeah, so that brings us to where Anne shows the planters around, having a nice time.
Yeah, and those have been mostly like the filler episodes, for example.
Yeah, and that's what I love about season 3. Is just like I said before, what I love about this is that you got the role reversal.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like we're just talking about the start of season 3. How did this impact you when you first saw this and you kind of thought season 3 is going to be like epic as heck?
I think like what really captured new normal. What makes new normal so capturing for me, what I love about new normal, is like I said before, you got the planters entering a new world, and they're pretty much in Anne's shoes at this point. Like she was, or rather Anne's shoe.
Okay, fine. But you only got one shoe, but they have shoes. They have shoes on, except for Polly. She has feet on.
Like what I like about it is that it's a role reversal, like I said, because you got the planters exploring the human world just like Anne did with Amphibia when she first got trapped there. And so that's what I like about it is that the planters are pretty much learning the new ways about like the humans based on the 99 Ranchers trip alone. And then not only that, you also got some crazy action that ensues. And then you get to see like there's so much to love about this episode. And of course you got the heartwarming moment where the Anne reunites with her parents.
Yeah.
So it's a nice blend of action, comedy, drama, all that stuff.
Yeah, it was just everything all in there. And I think it was just a perfect start to what season 2 was going to be. I mean, obviously there's a lot more questions that had to be answered, but at least throughout season 3, we get to see them get answered, if anything.
Oh, yeah.
I know that. And then like we get to see, here's the thing too, like season 3 at least did have those impact moments when it came to like the filler episodes, because those characters that you see in the filler episodes do help out Anne later on in the season.
Yeah, it's not like they come and go. They actually do help contribute in a certain big episode in season 3.
Oh, yeah. And to say the least, I mean, God, Amphibia is just amazing.
Yeah.
My 10 out of 10 like Disney TVA show next to like Kim Possible and Gravity Falls.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's right up there in my top 3 as well, along with Gravity Falls and Big City Greens.
We'll eventually have a big talk about Amphibia later, but if knowing the fact that this past Monday during this week's episode, we had to celebrate Amphibia's second year anniversary of the third season premiere. Definitely. So we had to really talk about this one episode because this was no doubt one of the best episodes of Amphibia.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah. Oh, wait, until next time, man.
Yeah. Until next time.
To pretty much wrap up our episode, you see the main title that we've had here is called Our First Animes. And I do want to discuss like our animes because, we've been anime fans ever since, but I think I'm the oldest anime fan here in this podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
you're much more experienced than I am.
Yeah, explain how you started anime yourself.
I think it's more along the lines of a combination of like me going to this video game and anime club in my old high school when I was in freshman for a bit, and then I saw like I'm a huge gamer myself. I've been into video games ever since I played the SNES at the age of 2, and so I thought to myself, okay, if I love video games, then I gotta love anime. They kind of blend together in a sense. So, and also I saw you praising the hell out of Bleach. So I was like, if I'm going to start anime, like as a whole, if I'm going to kickstart my love for anime, I got to start with Bleach.
So Bleach was like, came out around 2001, 2002. Like I was an anime fan before that. Like,
yeah.
Okay. So the way I kind of started anime was that I saw this one cartoon. I saw this on, I don't know if you guys remember UPN Network, but the UPN Network had anime there. They had Pokemon, they had Sailor Moon, and one of the animes that are here featured is Sailor Moon because those are like one of the big 90s animes. And like I said, I was like 5 or 6 years old. I was just thinking it's just another regular cartoon because like the way that it got drawn, it felt like it's just back then I was thinking like, oh God, it's an amazing cartoon. I need to watch this more, It's just amazing looking,
You didn't even know what anime was back then.
I didn't know what anime was back then. I was just thinking like, oh, this looks amazing. This looks great. Like, the drawings and stuff like that. I was just thinking like it's just a regular cartoon, like some regular cartoon, but I didn't expect it to be quote unquote anime, that it was a cartoon made in Japan. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how I started with Sailor Moon. And then from there on, the whole effect of like the anime run came down. Like, okay, so I don't know if people will believe me here, but I was a big Sailor Moon fan. Okay, so, sorry, I'll say this out here. Sailor Moon and Pokemon literally came out at the same time, like when I was 5 or 6 years old. But I focused more on Sailor Moon than Pokemon. Like, I would watch Sailor Moon, like, literally when it comes on, and then the next thing that was coming on the channel was Pokemon. But then I turned it off to another channel after that. Yeah. Yeah, so that's like how I started growing up with it. Like, Pokemon was kind of a secondary thing until, like, elementary, where, like, folks started to come by and they told me, like, yo, Pokemon's awesome. I'm like, what's Pokemon? And they told me, dude, Pokemon is awesome. Go check it out on the UPN network. I'm like, what? Wait, what? Because like I was like blindsided. I'm like, Pokemon is good. I was like, I just saw the theme song and stuff. Like, I want to be the very best. No one ever was.
That iconic song that you hear people sing in karaoke. It's that song.
Yeah. So the thing is like, I just came into like my friends group and I was just saying like, is Sailor Moon is Pokemon that good? And so I started watching that after Sailor Moon, and then now I started to get to hear all the hype about it. Yeah. It's weird because like I started in the middle of Pokemon. I didn't start off where Ash got his Pikachu. I literally started off like in an episode where I think like Ash was he was getting his fifth batch. I was like, I'm way too ahead. I was supposed to start earlier than that.
Yeah, so I go back to the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. So, but then like, when you were 5 and 6, did you actually see Pokemon? Did you see Sailor Moon or any of these animes before?
Small bits here and there, but not by much.
Really? Because like I imagine you would pass by this like when you watch Cartoon Network, when you watch Nickelodeon, Nickelodeon never had anime, but I'm just saying like you could have watched this during Cartoon Network. You could have watched this like when you were like going to the Saturday morning cartoons to say.
I guess it's more like along the lines of when I was a kid at that age, I would always be into Nickelodeon Saturday morning cartoons, like that style. When I looked at anime back then, I thought to myself, that stuff looks so weird.
Really? You thought it was weird?
I was a kid, okay? Blame my 5 or 6 year old self for not having a taste.
So what would you watch more instead of this newly amazing looking cartoon?
I would watch more of like, Rugrats and all that stuff.
So you were like kind of stuck on Nickelodeon.
I was stuck in Nickelodeon. Yes, I was.
So do you remember Nickelodeon used to air like Looney Tunes and what was it? Ren and Stimpy and
Tiny Toons Lunar.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Tiny Toon Adventures.
Remember that UWB used to be part of Nickelodeon, but now it went to Cartoon Network now. So
yeah. So needless to say, when I was 5 or 6, I didn't have that quite of an exposure to anime. The closest I got was Pokemon Indigo League when I was about like 7 or 8 years old, and even then.
Well, I mean, you were young. You were young back then, so you at least saw a couple episodes of Pokemon.
I saw about several, and even then, like, it wasn't a show I would watch religiously.
Really, did it hook you up at all?
Like, it's a show I watch from time to time, but
did you even at least play the Pokemon games?
I played Pokemon Snap.
There was no what? There's a difference between Pokemon like Red and Blue, because like everybody was all the hype about Red and Blue, Gold and Silver.
I never played. I never owned a Game Boy. The first Game Boy I owned was a Game Boy Advance.
Though you can still play those games on the Game Boy Advance.
but not Red and Blue. You can play like the later entries of Pokemon.
I thought you can actually play Game Boy games on that. No.
No, like here's the thing. Like with Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, the Pokemon games that got released, it depended on like it depended on like the generation of Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. But I remember like playing Pokemon on the Game Boy Color. That was obviously my main system that I used to have, and I remember playing Blue for the first time because I didn't really like Yellow, because the thing is like, man, you got to make sure your Pikachu is okay too. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't like that extra work. That's why I wanted to just stick with Pokemon Blue. And I actually like beat the 8 gyms and the Elite Four and the champion like in like months. I wasn't one of those big time like Pokemon fans. I remember like literally just playing the game, and then when it's dark, I would have that little like light attachment to the Game Boy Color and start playing that. Yeah, dude, it was just great. But yeah, I mean, I think it was also the start of like my trend of getting into the video games of Pokemon. Like, you say Pokemon Snap was one thing. I think I also started with Pokemon Snap as well, because I had an N64 before the Game Boy Color. So I started with that, and then started with Pokemon Snap, and then I started with the Pokemon games after that. So like, again, I still have to blame the anime, because that started a whole downfall of me just pretty much playing a lot of the Pokemon games. I was huge. I was like a huge fan of Pokemon, collecting the Pokemon cards, collecting all the Pokemon memorabilia, that kind of things. So, I mean, look, I'm still a Pokemon fanboy ever since. So, I don't know about you, but how do you not like Pokemon? I'm just wondering.
No, I mean, like, it's not the fact that I don't like Pokemon. It's just like I'm not one of the biggest diehard fans of Pokemon. Like, I've played some Pokemon games here and there. Like, I've not during my childhood, but it's more like I played the recent Switch games, and I played some of the 3DS games. So that's when I started like the mainstream Pokemon games.
So did the anime not like attract you to even playing Pokemon at all?
Not back then. Not
really.
When I was 5 or 6.
So what made you? So when you watched the Indigo League, which you said you watched it when you were like 6 or 7, right?
Yeah.
And then you just decided to like say, okay, Pokemon's not for me.
It's not that Pokemon wasn't for me. It's just like I wanted to focus more on shows I was much more into than Pokemon.
You have to be interested in Pokemon. I mean, everybody who was in their childhood really loved Pokemon. I mean, for me, I don't know if everybody else does. But...
I did watch Pokemon the first movie.
Okay, yeah. Oh God, don't remind me of Pokemon first movie. Oh no. So you would see a big fan would watch that. By the way, a big Pokemon fan would watch that. But then you watched it, then you teared up. I would imagine.
Yeah, the part where Ash turns to stone. I remember that.
Yeah, it was so sad. Oh God,
it's pretty much the Mufasa's death of Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, dude. And then like the whole Tears of Pokemon ended up like, what was it? Recovering Ash, which was really amazing.
That part made no sense. How did Tears?
Shut the hell up! It's magic. It's Pokemon magic or some stuff like that. Shut up! I was dying back then when I saw it, and I was tearing up. I was bawling out. I was a kid. I was bawling the hell out of that. Okay.
See, it's one of those things where, as a kid, you don't mind as much because, well, you're there to watch Pokemon.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to see the characters win and all that stuff. Mm. But then when you look back as an adult, you think to yourself, that is illogically impossible.
Shut up. I don't care. If I have to watch Pokemon first movie again, I'm gonna cry. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna cry again. Oh my God.
Yeah, because Tears do help resurrect.
Shut up. It's Pokemon Magic, whatever bullshit that is.
I don't know.
Do not ruin my nostalgia because that was a favorite movie of mine. Do not ruin it for me. Oh god. So
Mewtwo was badass.
Well, because he's the ultimate Pokemon, and then there's that Mew Pokemon that he was fighting throughout the whole movie as well.
That's what I mean. Like, he really did pose as a legitimate threat.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, Pokemon first movie. I mean, I was in tears for that. I mean, okay, so I also did find the trend about the movies of Pokemon. It did kind of fall down after that. Like, second movie was still good. I loved second movie because it had Lugia, it had Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres pretty much in a fight in the Orange Islands. So we get to see like Misty, Ash, and Tracy in that one. Then the third movie kind of fallen off because I actually didn't watch the third movie like completely. I just remember Entei being like the main Pokemon, and he apparently stole Ash's mom.
Pokemon, the first movie, was the only movie I watched.
Boo! What the fuck? You're not a Pokemon fan. I can't talk to you about Pokemon anymore, I swear.
Just a casual one.
So all the Pikachus that pop up, all the Eevees, all these, things here and there, you don't care anymore? Oh, man.
Hey, man, like, I like to go, like, fire-type Pokemon, though.
So Charizard for you? Oh, yeah.
Charizard's my favorite.
So I want to ask this, because a couple of my friends are currently in Japan right now. Justin, Thomas, hope you guys have safe travels. They're currently in Japan right now. And when we went to the Pokemon Center, did you even care about Pokemon there?
I thought the Pokemon looked cute, like Litten.
Yes.
Litten was adorable.
They're
Litten
cute.
was my starter.
There are still cute Pokemon out there, by the way.
Like,
so
Litten was my starter. Scorbunny was my starter. So
you even play Pokemon yourself. You even play Pokemon. What was it? It's Violet. No, that's not Scarlet and Violet or anything.
I played the later Pokemon games, not the earlier ones.
It's not Sun and Moon. Yeah, I think that was the Pokemon game.
It was.
No, it's not.
It was X and Y.
X and Y. Yeah, sorry. No. Oh, that's 3DS. That's not 3DS.
X and Y was 3DS. Litten.
Oh, but how about? I know that Sun and Moon was that Sun and Moon was a Scorbunny, if I remember.
I believe so.
Okay, but
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't care. Either way, like, it's weird how your Pokemon transition was. I'm still a Pokemon fan-ish. I'm not really the biggest Pokemon fan because I don't play the card games. I don't watch the anime series anymore. Even though Ash is gone, I know I've heard the stories about that. So
we have a new pro tag for Pokemon now.
Yeah, we do. Oh my god. Either way. Oh, Sword and Shield. Sorry.
Sword and Shield.
Yeah, Sword and Shield. Sorry about that.
Sword and Shield.
I have to say this.
I fell in love with Pokemon, so
boo. I still play Scarlet and Violet. Okay, I even played that new Arceus game that came out too. So
yeah, the Arceus game. The best way to describe Pokemon Arceus is Pokemon Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and I like it. It's so much like open world stuff that you can capture Pokemon with.
Arceus is one of the better Pokemon games, despite the fact that it's open world.
Yeah, and it also did lead up to Scarlet and Violet. I mean, it kind of like paved the way for like how Pokemon Switch games are gonna look like, and it's still good. Like, I still like it.
Like I said, Arceus is one of those Pokemon games I played the most. So
either way, I don't know how you're not a Pokemon fan. I'm just so shocked.
Like I said before, I'm only the casual type. Not really. Like I've enjoyed some of the Pokemon games. I've watched a bit of the series, but like I'm not diehard or anything.
Okay, I know. I'm not a diehard fan myself. I just remember like watching the anime series to the Johto journeys until I started falling off after Master Quest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I also did remember watching an episode where like Misty did finally leave Ash's like Ash. He finally left Ash to go back to the gym, and I remember that moment where like Ash gave Misty a bike, and I'm like, oh, this is so precious.
That's so cute.
Remember how they met? A bird bike that Ash stole from Misty.
I know. I remember. That's why I like that touch where it's like, the bike,
Yeah, and I thought that was just absolutely awesome just to see Ash and Misty leave off like that, where like Misty leaves off with a bike that Ash gave away.
Also, shippers, I know what you're doing. Don't think about it.
No, it's not a ship. If anything, it's that one blonde girl.
Yeah, that one blonde girl.
Yeah. I forgot her name too.
Feel free to
Vanessa or something. I don't remember. Either way, but
I've only watched the Misty era of the Pokemon.
So Indigo League, yeah,
just the Indigo League. That's it.
Yeah,
I didn't go any further.
There's Johto. There's Kanto's there. There's Johto. There's the Orange Island, which is the filler arc, by the way. It's just definitely filler. Either way, we can talk more about Pokemon later. But again, first anime, it's no doubt Pokemon was one of them. one other anime that came out during the Kids WB era. I know did you watch Kids WB before? Like around this time? Really? No? So you haven't watched Batman the Animated Series?
I mean,
Animaniacs were in the Kids WB lineup.
Okay, like I've watched some of Batman the Animated Series, some of Animaniacs, but like I said, I was big into Nickelodeon. I was mostly into Nickelodeon, so
you are definitely a kid that didn't grow up like watching the other variety of animes to say that were out there.
That's kind of the thing. It's like you know, like when I was a kid, I had this like you know team sort of mindset where I was just like
I don't think there was like a huge competition when it comes to networks back then, because they had like Cartoon Network where they had like the old like Hanna-Barbera cartoons airing most of the time.
Yeah.
And then you had Nickelodeon that had their Nicktoons come out, and you know their hits. I understand that, but then I do want to check out like the Saturday morning cartoons that also did come out in other networks. You got Kids WB, then you had Kids WB and the WB network, and then you also did have the Fox Box that had other animes as well. So like Yu-Gi-Oh, for example. Yu-Gi-Oh was another anime that also was out there.
I've never gotten to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay, so I only watched like one season of Yu-Gi-Oh and then I stopped.
Yeah.
I was never a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh. I was totally more into Pokemon than Yu-Gi-Oh.
As for Batman the Animated Series and Animaniacs, there were shows that I watched much more as an adult than I did as a kid.
Really? You didn't grow up with the Animaniacs?
Like I did for a bit. I did for a bit, but then I watched some of the Animaniacs, but I didn't watch as much Animaniacs as I did Rugrats, Hey Arnold, and all that stuff.
He's not a true Animaniacs fan.
Like I said, I was a big Nickelodeon fan back then, but then like when the Animaniacs reboot came out, I watched the Animaniacs reboot and I laughed.
Let's remember, like the Animaniacs did have their own side stories too. You had the squirrel, you had like the bird, the pigeons,
Picky and the Brain.
Picky and the Brain. Well, they had their own show too, Picky and the Brain.
Like I said before, there are shows that I watched much more as an adult than I did as a kid, because when I watched them as an adult, I appreciated the humor much more, what they were going for.
Well, I mean, still, Kids WB definitely was like a network I just remember growing up with. So I watched like, there's a lot of anime that was there at Kids WB. Like I've said before, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Cardcaptor Sakura. I don't know if you remember watching that.
I never watched Cardcaptor.
Okay, so I hate how Cardcaptor Sakura got in the English dub, because English dub, I don't know if 4Kids did this, but it looked bad.
if you thought Cardcaptor Sakura got the worst 4Kids treatments, like some people could argue One Piece.
Yes! That definitely did have the worst treatment too, okay?
And I'm just like, hey, I'm currently pitching One Piece. I'm not touching the 4Kids version.
Yeah. Don't give it up, Luffy. Don't give it up, Zoro.
and I heard that instead of the cigarette, they replaced it with like this
lollipop. Yeah. The stabbing is actually more of like a suction cup thing. Well, it's for kids. Get it? For kids. And One Piece is supposed to be for adults. And the other thing too about Cardcaptor Sakura, I didn't realize the audience was supposed to be 13 up. So when I watched Cardcaptors, okay, they call it Cardcaptors in Kids WB. I watched it and I was hooked just because like Sakura, Lee, Meilin, and like all those characters were really cool, trying to capture all the cloud cars. Plus they're like, you know, adorable and they're cute and stuff like that. So I was hooked. I was hooked with Cardcaptor Sakura. It was an amazing show. Plus also the movies were also pretty cool too. But I didn't realize they had the 13 up age. And I'm like, what? I was watching a mature anime?
It turns out you were the whole time. It's like, hey, you're too young for this.
Yeah, I know, but there was no adult things that were in it. It was just more towards like cute girls just having fun. Cute girls just trying to capture cards. And apparently Sakura had a crush on this older guy. So, but no, I mean, like it's pretty much a shoujo anime, which is like mostly for girls and stuff like that. But I just hooked with it just because it was just like a lot of cool girl action stuff. Maybe that's the reason why I kind of like Sailor Moon. Just there's a lot of girl action stuff here and there. By the way, Sailor Mars is my favorite. Uranus didn't appear until later, like in the 2000s. But I do love Mars when I was a big fan of Sailor Moon back then. So
oh, nice.
Yeah. Cardcaptors was one. Again, a lot more. Again, I mean, I don't know if I can think of other animes that I can put down on my list. I think we can also put down like Inuyasha, for example, because it's weird because like when I started watching Inuyasha, it was on Adult Swim. It was right around the 2000s.
You're the biggest Inuyasha fan I know. Just put out there. You're the biggest.
Yeah. It was definitely an awesome show. And watching it while my parents were sleeping, like literally going downstairs to like the first floor and not making sure the volume is just very quiet so that I can like be able to watch. I just remember like being in front of the TV watching it, just seeing Kagome and Inuyasha and stuff like that, like Sango and Moroku and those characters. And then you also get to see like why it's in Adult Swim. I'm like, oh, wait, naked lady.
Wow. Now you know why.
So that was my Adult Swim times and Inuyasha times. So yeah, that was that. And then you, on the other case, said that you watched Bleach, and this is during the Adult Swim times too. So
it was like back when I was freshman in high school. It was about like 2007 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I first got into Bleach in the first place because of all the reasons I mentioned. Like I started like at the beginning, and then I watched it on adult. So I watched Bleach like from the very beginning, through the internet, and I went from there. And then I remember I took a peek at the episodes of Adult Swim was airing, and it turns out that I was like way ahead. And during the time, I thought to myself, "Wait, what's going on? Like, how does this continue on with the show?" And I looked it up. I'm thinking to myself, "Oh shit, I'm not there yet."
So you watched it online first before Adult Swim?
Yeah.
So how did that happen? Did I talk to you about it? Because I remember you were not really big into anime until I started talking to you about it.
Like that may be true. Like you inspired me to get into it, and so did my time at the Video Game Anime Club. So it was a combination of both.
So what did the Video Game Anime Club recommend you besides Bleach?
They didn't really recommend me much of anything. It was more along the lines of I saw this one random anime like on one of the TV sets during this club, and it looked intriguing, and I thought to myself, okay, like this looks like something I could get into. I gotta see what anime I could get into, and that's when I stumbled upon like when I saw that you were into Bleach. That's when I decided to start getting into Bleach as well. So I remember seeing that you were also into Blood Plus.
Oh yeah,
and I tried to
that one was freaking horror for sure.
Yeah,
that's a horror anime for sure.
And I pretty much watched the first episode of Blood Plus, and it didn't grab me the way Bleach did.
Dude, because the first thing that happens was that this girl was about to be attacked by this fucking vampire.
Yeah, I rest my case.
And I remember like she like got blood on her face, and then she started to become a vampire herself.
I saw that image like with blood on her face, and I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, blood on the woman's face. That's so awesome, because I was a teenager back then.
Yeah.
Teenagers love that kind of stuff. So that's why I decided to look up, okay, where's this image from? And it's like, oh, where's from Blood Plus? Okay, let me check out Blood Plus for a minute. I'm just like, there's something about Blood Plus that just didn't grab me.
Like I get it.
The way Bleach did.
No, I understand. Like it is a hit anime to me because I did watch the whole entire thing. It was definitely awesome. But it did make sense why it could be like not for everybody, because it could be like, oh, you don't like the drama part? Do you like the whole story behind her becoming like a warrior or some vampire thing?
Bleach, on the other hand, really grabbed me because of the characters. You get to hear what the characters are thinking, and also the fight scenes were engaging.
Oh yeah.
And also there's some really well-paced comedy that's put in there.
That is true because of Kon, for example.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I gotta say much for Kon. I mean, he definitely was a hilarious person. Plus, with the guy with the hat, Tukecha. Yeah.
Oh, and also Rukia Kuchiki is my favorite character of Bleach, and she was my first waifu.
Wow. Oh, she puts it out there first. First waifu was Rukia.
Yeah, like she was my very first.
Okay, good to know. I don't even know like a waifu that I liked back then. Maybe Faye Valentine? Because I remember watching Bebop when I was watching Inuyasha too.
Yeah, Faye Valentine was quite attractive as well.
Oh, she is attractive. She's freaking hot. I mean,
yeah, like I didn't get into Cowboy Bebop until like a year later after I got into Bleach and a certain anime other anime we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Cowboy Bebop has been one of my favorite anime shows of all time, and to this day, it's one of my favorite shows ever.
Yeah, I mean, Cowboy Bebop definitely is like one of the top 10 animes of all time, and it does make sense why it's up there, just because it was made, written properly, written amazingly. So like when I watched the whole entire thing when I was like 10 or 11, I didn't realize it was also like a 13 up show. I mean,
there's some dead giveaways. You see like characters smoking.
Yeah, you have some characters smoking. There's some nudity that happens here and there.
There's even alcohol there, man.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. There's that. But I didn't know back then. I was just like, hey, this looks cool.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because you were 10 or 11 at the time. So
yeah. See, there's that. And plus, there's like some awesome side stories that happen here and there. Nonetheless, it was just led to an amazing story of Cowboy Bebop. It just stinks it's only 24 episodes, but it still was, again, an amazing anime. Yeah. When we look back to first animes, I know one of them that you really loved was Code Geass. And
yes.
I don't like, okay, so I understand the hype about Code Geass. Mechs.
Me too.
And I have to say this too. Was this your first ever mech anime? Because
yes, it was.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever watched mech animes before. Like I've talked about before. I've only watched Sailor Moon, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop's not even a mech anime. It's more of like a futuristic world anime instead of a mech anime. So when I first saw this mech anime, I was thinking, wait, Gundam sorta? Because everybody was talking about Gundams back then.
What grabbed me back then about Code Geass, well, like the mech fights were awesome to watch, but they weren't what captured me in the first place. What really captured me was the characters and how epic the story has gotten. And especially I love the way that I still love to this day how Lelouch is written. Like I could argue, honestly, he is the best protagonist I've seen in an
He's supposed to be the rebel. And other thing too is that he knows chess and stuff. So
that's what made him so intriguing. Rather than him being physically strong, he uses his intellect. Well, he's intellectually strong.
He has that thing from C2, that whole Geass thing. So he's manipulating people to do this and that.
But even before he got the Geass, you could tell he is such a chess master and he knows how to play the game well. And after he gets the power, he then uses his chess-like skills in order to pretty much manipulate his team, his crew, the Black Knights, and make them his pawns. But he does it for a noble purpose, which is, he wants to create a better world for his sister. So I like the fact that he's a morally great character, and I'm a fan of morally great characters. It really delves into how far will you go to create a better world, and is being a necessary evil necessary to fight the greater evil? I love how it delves into those questions.
It's such a flipsy, topsy-turvy sort of anime, considering how Code Geass makes Lelouch the villain. At the same time, he's actually the hero because he wants to attack Britannia.
He's the anti-hero.
Okay, yeah, anti-hero, which, it just was an interesting story to have him along. And I did like the other characters that were there. I mean, you got Colin, who's amazing, is amazing fighter. She has a tough attitude and all.
That's why Colin's my favorite.
I like C2, but she had that little mystic power that gave Geass to Lelouch to say.
And she loves pizza.
Oh, yeah. her and her Pizza Hut obsession.
Talking about Code Geass makes me want pizza.
Again? We said this before in a previous episode.
Support the rebellion. Let's go to Pizza Hut. We're going to support the rebellion.
Is there a Pizza Hut around us though?
There's one in Newark.
Oh, really? There's one in Milpitas. You have to drive all the way down there for that.
One day. This episode brought to you by Pizza Hut. Okay, not really.
But no, I really enjoyed Code Geass as well. R2 definitely was awesome as well, because it was second season. Plus, it also did close the whole story of Code Geass. I know that they want to continue on with Code Geass with this video game that we talked about earlier, the Lost Stories, but it's not a continuation. It's just more of another character that you're playing that is also in the rebellion with Lelouch.
That's what I love about it. It's when you play this character, you can tell you're in this rebellion with Lelouch. And honestly, as a huge Lelouch fan, Lelouch has been my favorite anime character of all time for a long time ever since then, and my favorite male character ever. I felt so honored to be alongside Lelouch's side. Oh my god, when I hear that voice, when I see him give me instructions, I was like, oh yeah, Lelouch! Lelouch is my guy. I will go down to the heavens of the earth with you, my man.
He's a big fan.
Man.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know that Omi is a big fan of Code Geass. So in the end, he ends up, saying this kind of stuff.
Definitely. Code Geass is one of my top 5 favorite anime shows. It's a show that I loved back then, and I love it even more to this day.
It definitely was an amazing show
Because of how political it got and how deep it got. That's what I adore about it.
Again, Code Geass. I would say this though. I mean, it definitely doesn't be Evangelion. Evangelion is definitely the OP mech anime. I would say.
Code Geass is OP
What?
mech anime.
No, do not.
You know what else is OP mech anime? Gurren Lagann.
Oh, okay, that is good too, but I think that overpowers Code Geass. I have to say, the Gurren Lagann definitely is an epic anime for sure. That wasn't one of my animes that I started with though, because it came out 2012 or something. But Gurren Lagann, no doubt, definitely was a big anime, mech anime that I think was better than Code Geass in my case.
For me, it's the other way around, but I love both regardless.
I think you just like the fact that Lelouch was a good main character.
Lelouch's best main character, in my opinion. Best main character.
No. I gotta give it off to Evangelion. It no doubt was an amazing mech anime, but again, we'll talk more about that later. I actually didn't start off with Evangelion, even though it came out in the 90s. Okay, so one other anime show, I wouldn't consider this anime, but there's this one animated show from Europe that, first off, it kind of tells you it's not anime.
Totally Spies.
Yes, because look at the freaking things that Totally Spies gave off. Anime vibes. The characters had the statistics of an angry little cringe thing on their head. Yeah, the sweat marks. You had all this kind of stuff. It makes me feel like Totally Spies was an anime back then. So I was so attracted to Totally Spies back then.
I actually never watched any Totally Spies because when I first looked at it, first kind of thought to myself, this show looks pretty girly for my taste. And
it is, but it's also girl power action stuff,
I was and keep in mind, this is coming from someone who was a big fan of Powerpuff Girls back then. When I look at Totally Spies, I think to myself, it's pretty much teenage girls shopping, girls. I can't get it.
And at the same time, you're also kind of, you're in the teenage years, you're kind of attracted to a couple of them. Sorry.
Hormones.
I was a huge Clover.
Blame the hormones.
I was a huge Clover fan. She was amazing. I mean, back then you had your waifus, your cartoon waifus, okay? Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I still have my cartoon waifus right now, but they're different cartoon waifus. So.
Yeah. I do have to say this though. It definitely threw me off when I was watching Totally Spies back then, because it was on Cartoon Network, and I was thinking, anime, this is amazing. But then I realized, then years later, after during season 3, I get to see all the credits about what marathon animation was, and apparently it's from Europe, and I'm like,
when you're always from Europe, when you take a look at Totally Spies the first time, you never would have guessed it was from Europe.
No, I just never did, because it just looked like an amazing anime show. It was an anime. It's like seeing Avatar was an anime, but it's not.
It's really not. No, it's anime inspired, but it's not anime.
No, it's not anime. Exactly. So you can actually think Avatar. It's like Avatar and Totally Spies are kind of the same thing. They're made in different countries, not in Japan, but they have the anime style, so it kind of makes you think it's anime.
Yeah, that's how they fool you.
They fool you like that, but it just made me think it was anime for sure.
Yeah.
More things that I can list down. I'm just looking back at all the other animes that came out on Adult Swim, for example, and the Fox Box. Kirby Right Back at You. Have you heard about that anime?
I actually have not seen Kirby Right Back at You.
Okay, good thing you don't, because these are for kids animes. You had Kirby, you had Kirby, you had Sonic X. Wait, remember we were Sonic fans? I was a huge Sonic fan back then when I used to play Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Adventure games. I remember Sonic X used to be the big hit anime that I used to watch back then. That then I was really weirded out with how the English dub was. So I was nope, time for me to stop. Plus, it was on Saturday mornings, and I think I just went through something else besides that on Saturday mornings. ABC Kids was an amazing thing. They actually did bring Disney Channel shows back to ABC Kids.
Oh yeah, ABC Kids really did nail these Saturday mornings. I remember.
Yeah. I think one anime that we could talk about, so we could wrap this show up. Fullmetal Alchemist. That came out. Now I don't think it was Brotherhood that came out on Adult Swim. I might be wrong. But Alchemist, the first series.
It was the first series, which I haven't watched. I've only watched the Brotherhood
series.
You
don't need to watch the first series, because Brotherhood pretty much recaps everything in a better way for
Yeah.
the first series.
By the way, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is my favorite anime. Period. Like it's the
It's
single
so
greatest,
good.
it's the single greatest anime series I've ever seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like the best. I would say like, yeah, it definitely was one of the best. But like, I would say like, you gotta put it on the top tier list of like anime, best animes for sure.
Cowboy Bebop comes as a close second though.
I would say Cowboy Bebop definitely still tops like my anime list, but I would again. There's a lot of animes to bring up. I'm just putting it in the tier list. So like,
Yeah.
it's a god tier. Like Cowboy Bebop is a god tier. Gurren Lagann's a god tier.
I'll say Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood god tier, Cowboy Bebop god tier, Oshinoko recently.
Really?
Recently, Oshinoko is definitely god tier to me.
I say god tier as well, but like in a different way. It won't be like top 10, top 11 or anything like that. Maybe like top 12 in my case.
Like what I respect about Oshinoko is how it really does capture the dark side of Japanese entertainment.
Yeah. That was the whole point of Oshinoko, because you think it's just another idol anime, but it's not. It's literally talks about the first episode, an idol dies.
See, that's the thing. Like, since like I know Nate's a huge fan of idols. I'm not much into idols. Like, so when I look at Oshinoko, I think to myself, I love that it does something different with the idol genre.
Yeah, and it does. It's something else besides like what you saw on Idols before. I mean,
Yeah.
I watch Love Live, so there's your story there. But like again, we'll go back to our first animes.
Yes, god tier.
So
Right.
I have to say this. After all the animes that you watched from the beginning, you have to look back and you kind of think about like which animes really did kind of like top your list. What animes definitely were like the best things to watch. And no doubt about it, like when I was a kid, I liked Pokemon. When I was a kid, I liked Sailor Moon. When I was like a young teenager, I liked Code Geass, Bleach, Full Metal Alchemist, those kind of animes. Cardcaptors as well when I was like a little teenager. And then you also look at the other animes that you watched before that you kind of like felt that it was not that great, that you kind of felt you don't need to watch it. Like the Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, like those kind of animes. But it kind of just tells you like, if you look back now, if you actually watch those animes back again, like what you're doing right now in One Piece, for example, it just gives you back that whole nostalgia right of like, oh, when I watch it back again, I'm definitely going to like it again.
I mean, I never had nostalgia of One Piece to begin with because, like I said before, this is my first time experiencing the anime. But I look at it, I'm just like, I could see why it was such a hit. Like,
if it wasn't in English though, because like when it first came out in the Fox box, it was all English dub, and you have all those edits come up, and it was just stupid.
I actually am watching One Piece, the English dub on Netflix, and it actually sounds pretty good.
No, because it got dubbed by Funimation, not
Yeah.
for kids. So this time around, when you watch it on Netflix,
Here's the
it's
thing.
so different.
I'm watching the good version of the dub.
Yes, you're watching the good version of the dub, not the 4Kids version. It's the Funimation version, or now
Yes.
Crunchyroll version in this case, because Funimation's gone.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like, there was no Funimation anymore.
Yeah, but I just remember One Piece was acquired by Funimation. And the thing is that they at least had like many years to do some dubbing with the first season all the way to like now. Now, when you see One Piece, it's now dubbed by Crunchyroll folks. Either way, I mean, they're still the same voice actors, but it's still great.
Yeah, that's good. Like, like you can watch this on like either Netflix or Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Like you have many ways to watch One Piece, whether it be a sub or dub.
Yeah. Are you ever thinking about actually watching your old animes back? Like the first anime you watched, like Bleach or Code Geass?
Like, I'll definitely give Code Geass a rewatch at some point because it's worth watching over and over. As for Bleach, I need to continue on with the 1,000-Year War arc.
Yeah, I think like when I'm trying to approach the 1,000-Year War arc, I need to catch up with the Bleach show before actually watching the 1,000-Year War. I don't know.
There's so many episodes to watch on Bleach, but then again, I'm kind of a hypocrite because I'm watching One Piece, which is arguably the longest anime ever. But with regards to Bleach, the problem with Bleach is that it's not just the fact that they were filler episodes; they were full of arcs.
Yeah,
and the thing with filler arcs is that they tend to drag the series down for me. Take a look at the Bount arc, for example.
Yeah, that's true.
God, the Bount arc was a boring waste of time.
Yeah,
it was a boring. Waste of time.
Okay, I understand your point there. Yeah. Well, at least One Piece doesn't have those like, filler arcs, so that you can at least skip through like those filler episodes and then continue on with the arc. These arcs are still important, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I plan to do. Like with One Piece, I plan to skip the filler episodes and I'm gonna save those for later.
That sounds like a good idea. To be fair, yeah.
Yeah.
If I ever do want to go watch Sailor Moon again, I would, just because it was a nostalgia trip that I used to watch with. And if anything, like what we're showcasing here were like some 90s animes. Like Ghost in the Shell was awesome. There was Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, that was also an amazing show. Same with Cowboy Bebop. I mean, everybody loves Cowboy Bebop, and if you were to do a rewatch of that, you could. Don't watch the live action, by the way. If anything, watch the cartoon or the anime version, because it's amazing.
Anime version, like I said before, Cowboy Bebop, not just one of the best anime shows, one of the best shows, period.
Yeah.
One of the best shows, period.
I think that's pretty much what we could say for that. I mean, there's a lot of awesome like animes that we grew up with. This is how we became pretty much big anime fans.
Yeah.
And I have to thank like friends who pretty much told me about conventions. Now that because of that got me more into anime, but we'll talk more about that in another episode.
Yeah, definitely. I needless to say, like, conventions are pretty much where you go out good memories, do cosplay, buy lots of merch. Yeah, I've got lots of.
We want to talk about our first. You want to talk about our first convention experience? Oh, we'll do that in the next episode. No, we'll plan something up. We'll plan something else later. Anyways, but yeah, great nostalgia trip for how we got into anime or what our first animes were.
I agree.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much wraps up our episode here. Well, thank you very much for those who are watching on Twitch. If you are watching on Twitch and you haven't followed us there, please hit the follow button so you won't be able to miss the next week's episode. We always we always stream episodes of the Anination Podcast every Wednesday. So go ahead and follow us so you will be notified when it will come back on again. And for those who are watching on YouTube, thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you'll be able to get notified when we'll be able to show you guys the next episode. I think that's pretty much it. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. Also check out our social medias as well on X, Instagram, Threads and Mastodon. And also make sure to check out our brand new Patreon page at patreon.com/AninationPod. So you'll be able to follow us there and become a subscriber there.
Yeah, and with the Patreon, you can get lots of perks. Pretty much depending on how much you pledge. If you pledge something as $1, you can definitely be a member of our Discord server, and you can watch our videos with early access. And if you pledge more, for example, you get more stuff coming.
Yeah, more stuff. Just go check out our patreon.com/AninationPod and you'll be able to check out all the stuff that you can get from the certain tiers that we have. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for our episode. Well, for those who are watching on Twitch, thank you very much for watching. And for those who are watching on YouTube, thank you all for watching as well. We'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, peace out, guys.
Peace out. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you guys on the next one.